And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Democratic Party, how the mighty have fallen. They've been in power for, 12 of the past 16 years? What do they really have to show for it? Who will their future leaders be? How many more cringeworthy videos are they going to release before they say, okay, we're going to give that up? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, speaking about cringeworthy videos, we got a bunch of fake viral videos, including a young lady with some Bo Derek braids. We've seen this play before. This is 2025, not 1979. What you're doing right now has been done before. It's kind of cringe. It's kind of weird. The videos are weird. And it's all about just getting money at the end of the day. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Gavin Newsom interviewed by Charlie Kirk. Very interesting. Some say that this interview was not needed, unnecessary. It humanized him. I don't think it's possible to humanize Gavin Newsom, okay? If you have a toad right in front of your face, making frog noises, ribbiting all over the place, it's hard to make that frog ribbiting make the sound of a human and become one. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Derek Chauvin, should he be pardoned? Should he not be pardoned? What should Trump do in a situation? We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a lot going on. I got a lot of good videos, a lot of good Democratic cringe for you, a lot of lefty cringe, some interesting news stories, some controversial topics, the whole Derek Chauvin thing. You know, one thing I noticed is that there's a bunch of unnecessary conversations that get started on social media. Unnecessary. It's like, okay, who was talking about Derek Chauvin before Ben Shapiro said something? I don't know why he would do that. Ben Shapiro, if you can hear me, I know all y'all watch me, so don't even do that. But if you can hear me right now, Ben, before you come up with a campaign like that, there needs to be some kind of momentum behind it. If you do that, all you're going to do is make the mainstream media focus on that story as if Trump said it himself, as if that's like the conservative party's platform is trying to get Derek Chauvin pardoned. They're going to ask Trump about it, and he's got to say something one way or the other. It's like you are trying to sabotage him, you're trying to set him up. Why would you do this? It doesn't make any sense. Where's the plan? Like, let's say you get what you want, though, Ben Shapiro. Let's say you get what you want and Trump pardons Chauvin. Okay, what's next? What's next? People are saying, oh, he should get a pardon. Okay, but why do that right now? If the objective is to have Derek Chauvin come home, then pardoning him right now is not going to make that happen. So what's the purpose? All you're really going to do is keep him in prison, make him go from the federal penitentiary to a state joint where he will most certainly get deleted instantly. He'll go from a better prison to a worse prison, still serve the same time, and you're going to make Trump appear to be some kind of racist person for doing that. Even though it's right to pardon him, it doesn't make sense strategically to do it. If you want him to come home, if you want the sentence to be vacated, pardoning him is not the way to go about it. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I gotta, normies may not get that. They don't understand. All they understand is how they feel, their emotions. Pardon them. All they're gonna think about is that. They don't think about the consequences of that action or how a pardon will actually help him. They stop their thought process at step one. Step one, get Derek Chauvin a pardon. They stop right there. They don't think step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if you're Donald Trump, if you're in Minnesota and you are going to be doing the appeals process for a state conviction, all those things matter. Everything matters. You can't just make a decision like that without thinking about anything else. It's really weird. Again, like I said in my video, I think that Derek Chauvin shouldn't be in prison, but if you want him to come home, there's a certain way to do it. That's just what happens with that. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. And then Trump, I'm going to get to Trump where he said he didn't think about pardoning him at all. Of course not. Nobody thought about this. Like Ben Shapiro wouldn't be the one to break the news. Breaking news, folks. Trump wants to. He wouldn't be the one to do that. I don't know what kind of crack he's smoking, but you know what? One thing about Ben, and shout out to all the Californians. I love y'all. I really do. Like, I don't want to be seen as anti-California. You know what? I am. I'm sorry. I am anti-California. California sucks. You guys who live in California, great people. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to California. Surfing, fun, and sun, and all that good stuff. Okay. Shout out to y'all. But you know your state sucks. I mean, let's keep it all the way real. Let's keep it real. You got a lizard person for a governor, Emperor, Caligula, Nero, wherever he wants to be. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, who is the nephew guy's auntie, the auntie lizard. You got Scott Wiener, another one. You have your state is chock full of bad leadership. California sucks. And some of the people suck. Some. Ben Shapiro is from Los Angeles. Grew up, born and raised in Los Angeles. Some of that California thinking is still up in there. Thinking that he knows better than the American people. Like he can kind of look from a place on high down on the Southerners, down on the common people. He thinks he could do that sometimes, but they don't really understand true humanity. They understand what they know from an academic point of view, but they don't understand humanity on the real level in a way that can't be taught in the school system. Psychology, all these things that cannot teach you really about the pulse of humanity at a current point in time. He doesn't really get it. But yeah, shout out to the California people. Nothing against y'all. Love y'all. But your state sucks. It does. Everybody knows it. Beautiful, beautiful beaches. You go up in the mountains, it's beautiful. Go out there and wine country is beautiful. Policies, real bad. Real bad. You know what's worse than California though? New York. New York City, the rats, biggest house cats. Okay, biggest house cats. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody had a pet rat, like a pet cat in their house. I don't know how it's possible, but New Yorkers, you guys could do anything. You guys can do anything. You put on a pair of Timberland boots, Yankee hat, you could do anything. I've seen it. I've not done it, but I've seen it. I would not be surprised if one of y'all had a pet rat in the bodega playing with the pet cat. I wouldn't be surprised. That'd just be like, yeah, that's regular. That's normal. But yeah, I don't. It's just too much. I'm getting triggered already. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, Gavin Newsom. We'll get to that. I told y'all he's running in 2028 because they don't have anybody on that side. I know Gavin doesn't really want to stop being the emperor of California, but he will be running in 2028 because they don't have anybody else. So I think the 2028 matchup will be JD Vance versus Gavin Newsom. What do y'all think? And if it's not Vance versus Newsom, then who is it going to be in 2028? 2028 will be here before you know it. 2020 was just yesterday. 2020 was just yesterday, in my humble opinion. 2028 will be here before you know it. It's already 2025. You get midterms, 2026. And then after midterms, it's going to be a beeline straight to 2028. AOC, I think not. Look, one thing that I know about our country here in the good old US of A is that we don't like women to be in high leadership roles. Senator, governor, mayor, house rep, totally fine. President, no. We already saw Hillary Clinton. They all thought that she'd be the one. They all thought that it'd be a slam dunk. Nope. A black guy beat out Hillary Clinton in 2008. a black guy, Barack Hussein Obama, an ethnic name, beat Hillary Clinton in 2008 in the primary to become the president, not once, but twice. She runs again up against Trump in 2016, gets stomped out, and it takes the entire establishment by surprise. They run Kamala Harris against President Trump. Of course, she was going to lose. I mean, she couldn't even come close to succeeding in the primary in 2020. And a 1,000-year-old man, Joe Biden, won the primary in 2020. So if she couldn't compete against this fossil, how are you going to have any woman compete against a Gavin Newsom in the primary? If Gavin runs, nobody has a chance on the Democratic side of the aisle. I guarantee you that. Jasmine Crockett, no. AOC, no. Cory Booker, absolutely not. None of them. They don't have it. They are good at administrative roles where they don't really do a lot. But when it comes to having to speak to the people and be a regular human and step outside of Washington, D.C., which ain't nothing but a viper pit, a lizard pit, when they step beyond that, they're completely awkward, weird, and strange to the rest of us. To themselves, they're normal, but to us, they're abnormal. That's how DC is. That's why Trump was so appealing, because he's a normal person. JD Vance, a normal person. AOC, irregular. Kamala Harris, very irregular. Joe Biden, just old. Joe Biden used to be kind of regular. Bad policies. But he was kind of a regular person. Had bad kids and was stealing money. You know, typical corrupt politician, right? But he's just 1,000 years old, so he can't really do what he did back in the day. He could appeal to some people that have his same moral characteristics, I suppose. But now he can't even do anything. He could barely stand up straight without falling over after about 5 minutes of talking. That's just what happened with him. But the rest of them who are not 100 years old, they're just irregular. That's all. So who do they have? Gavin Newsom is the least irregular and the most recognized. That's all they got. So who do you think is going to be the next president? I think it'd be JD Vance. But who will his opponent be in the 2028 presidential election? I think it'd be Gavin Newsom. So Vance Newsom, that is the matchup I see happening in 2028. What do y'all think? Tulsi Gabbard, hold on. The Freedom, I can't see your entire name, says Tulsi Gabbard for president. She has merit. Tulsi Gabbard, I think not. You like Vivek? I like Vivek as well, but I don't really see him succeeding in the primary. And I don't see Vivek running in the primary against his friend from Cincinnati, Ohio. I think Vivek will become the governor of Ohio. He'll have that seat, and then Vance will run for president while Vivek is the governor. I think that'll be what happens. What do y'all think? Big Mike don't want to run. Big Mike should have been ran. If Big Mike was going to run, Big Mike would have run in 2020. But she has no desire to try and become the president. Really, if Big Mike wanted it, she should have took it in 2016 when their term was over. But she didn't, and she let Hillary go out there and get Kirk stomped. So it is what it is. Don Jr., I think not. Don Jr. also would have ran beforehand. Well, maybe not. I'm not saying the right thing. Vance Gabbard. So Tulsi Gabbard could be VP pick, maybe, perhaps. I'm not necessarily into having the female vice president, because if, God forbid, something happens to the president, then you got to have a female president. So I'm not really with that. That was the problem that they had with Kamala. So I wouldn't want Tulsi Gabbard to be in there. I would want another male to be in there. Okay. Shoot, if anything, it could be JD Vance and Vivek. If Vivek did not become the governor of Ohio. Hold on. Somebody said Pete Buttigieg. Byron Donalds could be the vice president. That'd be a good one. Stephen A. Smith. You know, there's a poll that has the potentials of the 2028 presidential candidates on the left, and Stephen A. is on there. He's polling very low right now, like 0.1, 0.3, something like this, but he's on there. He is on there. Kind of sexist ABL. I'm keeping it real. I mean, am I lying though? My comment may be seen as sexist by some. I understand that. I don't want to attack you, but am I lying though? Am I lying? Do you think Americans want a female to be the president? Is that what we want? I don't think so. We've tried it and it's never succeeded. So I think people of this country want a man to be the president. Like I said, it's the same thing with the height argument, the height situation. There's been no presidents below 6 feet ever since Jimmy Carter, and that was in the 70s, and he was 5'10". He was not a small guy. But all the presidents, Democrat, Republican, black, white, it don't matter. Reagan, HW, W, Slick Willie, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump, all of them are above 6 foot in the 6'1" to 6'2", 6'3" range. You know, in that range where you're tall enough to command authority, but not so tall where it's kind of cartoonish, like you're a basketball player or something like this, pretending to be a public official. That kind of range right there, the 6'2" to 6'3", that's where most presidents have been since Carter in the 70s. And again, he was 5'10". So if that's been the trend, I think that's what Americans want. And you're going to put in a 5'4" woman? Like, we got to think a little bit here. Does that make sense? Is that a good strategy to have? I don't really think so. To place someone in there who you know is going to have a hard chance of being able to succeed. And that's not just among men who vote. That's among men, that's among women as well. I've heard women say that they don't want to vote for a female president. I've heard them say this. So why do it? I don't understand. I ain't saying nothing wrong. Thank you, Patrice. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. All right. But we got a lot to get to. So before I go too deep into what I'm going to do, let's go with the sponsors. And we're going to get to some videos and a whole lot of things. Again, thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. All righty. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to you guys, of course, for watching every day or whenever I come on. You guys are fantastic. And thank you for supporting the show, first of all, but also thanks to the sponsors. Hey, shout out to you guys for supporting the baked in ads that I do. I appreciate that. But also this video sponsors patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. We got the hats, we got the t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to see articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democratic, Republican, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Again, ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. And of course, all my links will be in the description box of this video, or just Google me. It's real easy, Anthony Brian Logan. You can find my website that way. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All those links are right there on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me on these interwebs or not, use a little bit of common sense. I'm never going to respond to one of your comments under my video talking about you can get some Bitcoin, some foreign exchange, some kind of get rich quick scheme, mail some money to my auntie in Lagos, Nigeria, and she'll give you $1 million. It's not going to happen. If anybody says that to you, it's a scam. If I see one of you guys wearing some of my merchandise in the Target with a bushel full of Target gift cards, I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder and tell you very nicely, sir, ma'am, you're being scammed. Put the cards back at the little kiosk where you found them, okay? put the cards back. You got to call Adewale back on the phone and tell him that you don't have any more gift cards for him and the transaction cannot be complete. The little dark money scheme cannot be completed, okay? Don't do it. Don't get scammed. It's 2025. Some of y'all still email me. I promise. I promise. That's the reason why I keep saying it. Some of y'all keep emailing me talking about I thought I could trust you, ABL, all this, that. Listen, you could trust me all day long, but you can't trust a random person in the comments sending you a 1,000-digit WhatsApp number talking about sending them some Apple iTunes gift cards. You can't trust them. So please, okay, I'm not trying to have any kind of issues. I'm not trying to have you be on the phone with some guy. Here you go. The phones are missing. I don't have the phones. Send some more funds on the Western Union. That's the best way to get me the money. I don't want to have you having no conversations with somebody, okay? If you having that kind of conversation, the money is gone. They didn't spent that, flipped it over again. They didn't built a house. They didn't get a ticket to the United States, a green card, a passport, all of that with your money, okay? So let's not do that. 2025. Don't nobody got no time for that. Now, let's go to a few cringe videos from the Democrats. One of my favorite pastimes to see just how ridiculous these people are. This is going to be right here in DC. Now, this kind of encapsulates everything. This encapsulates everything that's wrong, okay, with DC.
Congressman, how are you?
Okay, thank you.
Congressman, why should men be in women's sports?
Shorts?
Sports. Why do you think
They should not be in shorts.
Congressman, how are
It should not be in shorts.
you?
Okay, thank you.
Congressman, why should men be in women's sports?
Shorts?
Sports. Why do you think
They should not be in shorts.
Congressman,
Okay, like, I don't know what he's doing. You pushing the elevator button, and then you just doing all kind of aggressive maneuvers with your motor scooter. Okay, like, I'm seeing so many wheelchairs, mobility scooters, all kind of stuff. What do they call these things? I know they got mobility scooters and wheelchairs, but isn't there a name for these kind of aggressive things where you could just kind of back up? You got a zero-turn lawnmower motor in that particular scooter around DC. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys in Congress right now in wheelchairs. Not because they are paralyzed or they had some kind of explosion overseas. Nah, they're just 1,000 years old and they can't really operate too smooth anymore. Is it a rascal? Yeah, the rascal, the hover round. Yeah. I remember the hover rounds when they first came out. Hilarious. A hover round. Like, what is this though? Do y'all know what this particular one is with the basket right here? Okay, I feel like he got that. It's very luxurious. Look at the back. Very luxurious, real padded, very fancy. I wonder how much that costs. Can you afford that on your DC politician salary? Probably not. That's that US aid money right there, giving them that lavish hover round, or rascal, whatever that is. Hey, and you know what? I know I told a story before about the guy in my, so there was a guy, and this guy reminds me of him because he had similar hair and he had a scooter and he was driving it aggressively. So here's a quick, very short story. So I am out in my area at about 11:30 p.m. a few weeks back. I think I had gone to get something to eat. I was famished. The same way I was famished when I did the stream and I got that pad thai. Shout out to y'all who were there for that one. But I was starving to death. So I go down this long road, this main road where I live. It's at night, so it was pretty empty. I go down, get my food, and I come back down the same road. Now, as I'm driving, I'm seeing something kind of strange on the left-hand side of the road. It looked like it was oncoming traffic, like a motorcycle or something, but I couldn't really tell what it was. It looked strange. It didn't look like a regular light that I would normally see. So I'm driving, and as it gets closer, the light becomes more into focus. I can see what's behind the light. It gets closer and closer, and what I realized is that it's a guy, no lie, this guy had to be at least 85, 90 years old. He looked like George Washington, but slim like him. So the same kind of hair that Washington had and the bust, you understand? That same kind of hair, but he was slim like Coons right here, okay? Or Cohen, Steve Cohen. He was slim like that. He is driving the scooter on a sidewalk and is going max speed. The hair is all over the place. Old man has on a bathrobe, no socks or shoes on. Nah, he had slippers. Slippers, a robe on, nothing underneath. Chest hair showing, and it's cold outside. I'm like, bro, like, what are we doing? Going for a joyride? He reminded me a lot of this guy right here. Okay, moral of the story is, can we get some people that are not 1,000 years old in Congress? I understand if you are real old and you just out on your power scooter living your retired life, but if you're doing that in Congress and you're voting, you might be a teeny bit too old to be there. Okay, a teeny bit too old. Oh, my man, the hair all over the place. Like, he was going max speed. I don't know how fast you could go with a scooter, but my man was going the absolute fastest he could go. With a bathrobe, underneath, nothing else but a pair of fuzzy slippers. So yeah, shout out to that dude. Hey, one thing about this area, I'm going to say this part. One thing about this area, the white folks out here, the older ones especially, no fear. No fear at all. When COVID-19 had first ended here after like a month and restaurants, whatnot, are back open, I went out, and right next to us, when we went out, there was an elderly white couple right next to us. They didn't say a word about, oh, we don't want to be that close to you, social distancing. They were old, had to been in their 80s or 90s, right next to us, and it was just us in this entire restaurant. Okay, so the four of us right side by side, and nobody was scared. But the younger people, I'm still seeing mask wearers today. I'm like, why? Why? The mask does not work. The older white folks out here, no fear. They ain't never scared. Never scared. Shout out to the old white people in my area. You guys are great. Anyway, let's go back to DC, shall we? Let's go back. All right, we got Jasmine Crockett. I hate showing her, but I have to. All right, this is their idea of engagement. All right, this is their idea of engagement. This is supposed to be a good video. All righty. How old am I? I am 40 years old. Okay, I think somebody probably added that music on it. But yeah, this is her. I think she had the Kendrick Lamar music on it at first, so they put the other music on it. But you can see she has bell bottoms and stuff like this. It's like, Jasmine, I know what they're trying to do in the Democratic Party is they're trying to engage with people on social media to get younger generation. But what they don't understand is that they don't understand that our movement is organic. I'm not paid by the RNC. They never call me ever. We do this on our own. You guys don't have what we have. You guys are academics who got jobs in DC. You guys are not us. So it's funny because, again, the original music was the Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. The DC types, are not like us, the regular people. All right. Now here she is again.
How about that? It's zero. And I know people gonna feel away. Listen, all I do is give y'all facts. So you come back to me when you don't get that check and say, Jasmine, you were right. Just like y'all want to get out there and say all kinds of, other stuff. But come back, because you're getting zero. I know these people. I work with these people. These people is not about this life, and they don't care about you.
Okay, can I say something right quick? Now, people are talking about, I'm seeing the post go live. It's going viral on the internet. It's about Jasmine, talking about the way she speaks and whatnot, saying that it's gangster. It's not a gangster talk. Ain't no such thing like that. Ain't no gangster talk. She ain't talking about no gang stuff. I never heard her say anything about thugging or drugging or nothing like this. Hold on, let me see if I can find the tweet, because I just want to say it properly, because people are just say anything and then there's nobody to say anything else. Hold on, let me see if I can find it right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, hold on. Here it is from Todd Starnes. There we go. Let me just show you this one because I want to talk about this right quick. I just want to say it a little bit better. White guys should kind of stop. White guys, in my opinion, shouldn't really talk about stuff like this because this is never really going to go well. Okay, so Todd Starnes says Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where her tuition is nearly $35,000 a year. She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where her tuition is nearly $55,000 per year. She's cosplaying a gangster. Like stuff like this, gangster. Okay, Todd, with your 1991 slang words. Don't even do all that. All you got to do is not and just let guys like me handle it. What he should have said is that she's playing up a lot of the black female stereotypes in order to get attention from the black community to push her narrative. In reality, she knows exactly how to behave, exactly what to say, how to say it, but she's leaning into the black stereotype stuff because she thinks that's what black people want. That's what it is. It's not about trying to be gangster. She's not talking about no thugging and drugging and shooting and killing. It ain't that. She's just playing into black female stereotypes. Loud, obnoxious, big, crazy, hair all over the place. She's playing into that because she thinks that's what we want. But when we see her, black folks that know something, when we see her, we think that she's kind of a clown. She's just not being authentic. It's not about being a gangster. It's about being inauthentic. I don't think she's using the fake voice, but she's kind of exaggerating. You see what I'm saying? Like I could exaggerate too. It wouldn't sound that much different than the way I sound right now. I'm not going to demonstrate, but if I was to do it, it'd still be me. It'd just be a little bit more. If I was just trying to play into a certain stereotype. That's what that is. So that's what she does. Okay. Because there's no need to use all these slang words. Like we understand if I'm in certain places, I can speak a certain way. It's just like, I tell you guys, don't curse on the show. Okay. So, you know, when you come here, there's no cursing, but when you're in your home, you pop out a sailor man cussing up a storm. Okay. Every other word is MF this and MF that. That's fine. That's your house. You do what you want to do. Talk how you want to talk. I'm not trying to attack you, but I'm saying when you come here, it's different. Same thing with her. When you're in Congress, it's different. You got to behave a certain kind of way. And it's not a race thing. Let's talk about how people dress. Voldemort Zelensky coming to the White House with a pair of sweatpants on. Okay, if you want $350 billion, let's put on the suit when you're in Congress. John Fetterman, you are in Congress. You're a senator. Try wearing a suit rather than looking like you looking like not even an HVAC repair guy because they have on uniforms. John Fetterman dresses like Adam Sandler with not as much money and not as many layers and accessories. Okay, without the basketball on his arm. That's pretty much what he dresses like. And he does that in Congress. I think it's lack of respect. When you're in a certain place, you got to behave a certain kind of way. And she doesn't do that. And I don't like it. That's the problem. All righty. So we got some more cringe. Okay. This might be an old video because it was kind of a trend a while back. It says choose your fighter. And you can see what's on the screen. This person's name is Soo-hee Jessica Wu. Bento box queen, mommy of the century, sleep deprived. And then it's AOC, New York's 14th congressional district, youngest woman plus Latina to be elected to the House. Trekkie, not a Trekkie. And then we have Lauren Underwood, youngest black woman elected to Congress, co-founder the Black Maternal Office, hates balloons. Look, I'm not gonna read everybody's little thing they got for themselves, but this is them just trying to be cool. But look, again, you guys are not supposed to be doing all this extra stuff. Leave that to the influencers who are going to do it organically. The problem is you don't have a message that connects to the people to make them want to do things to help you guys. So you guys got to do it yourselves. And it's just not working out very well. Okay. Like, people like this have no business trying to do social media trends. You go to the office and work. Go to your desk, vote, whatever you got to do, campaign, raise money. That's your job. Be in DC doing that. Don't be out here trying to do social media trends, okay? All right? That's just not what you do, especially when it's kind of awkward and weird, when it's not really your thing. Now, speaking about awkward and weird, I got a song for you. You ready? I got a song, okay? Hold on. Disgraced former NIH director Francis Collins, who famously lied about the COVID lab leak, gain-of-function research, and tried to censor debate about COVID restrictions, is currently singing a song at an anti-Trump science rally at the Lincoln Memorial. Alrighty, let's cue this up. I'm ready for it. It's gonna be good. All right, let's watch.
Together by this noble dream. Have you got that? So it's just all the good people, but the second line, part of this family, and the last line, we're joined together by this noble dream. Do that with me. This is a song for all the good people. Come on. All the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people. We're joined together by this noble dream. Well, this is a song for all of those dreamers. We're looking for answers to come our way. Scientists, doctors, students, all seekers. We share in the hopes for a much brighter day. Come on now. Well, this is a song for all the good people. All the good people who are part of this family.
Hey, the person in the background trying to sing along is hilarious. The sing along is just fantastic. So yeah, that is Dr. Francis Collins, former director, National Institutes of Health, Obama, Trump, and Biden, 2009 to 2021. All righty. Okie dokie, sir. There we go. Hey, are you going to buy Mr. Collins's debut album, Cringe Music, Volume 1? Are you going to buy that? It'll be available Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Link will be in the box. All right. Is you like that? It's a banger. Okay. He should not be allowed near school buildings. I agree with you, boss. I agree. All righty. Okay. Now we got this man right here on CNN. Pardon me, MS13 DNC. Same thing. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC. Same thing. But he's talking about cutting government waste, fraud, and abuse is racist. And I don't know why. Okay, now y'all, can I ask a question? I got a question. Hold on, I got a question. When did people start putting the ash on their forehead and going on TV? When did that trend happen? Was it always like that on Ash Wednesday, but they put the ash on their forehead? Shout out to the Catholics. No offense. Listen to me very well. Shout out to the Catholics. No offense. But when did that start becoming a thing on television where you put in the ash on your forehead and then going on TV? When I first saw it, I'm like, what's going on? Is your forehead dirty? Like, what's happening? And I had to get told, now that's Ash Wednesday, is what they do. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Cool. Okay, was it 2010? Because I know I saw it years back, but I'm not really sure when it started. Okay, but yeah, shout out to the Catholics. Let's see what he has to say, though.
People who are charged with trying to find savings. So yes, it's an attack on government, but it's also an attack on this government. What I mean by that is it's an attack on this government that used to be headed by a black man. It's an attack on this government that almost elected a black woman to the highest office in the land. It's an attack on a government that has been more welcoming and more supportive of people who have come to this country in search for a better life. There are people who are charged with trying to find savings. So yes, it's an attack on government.
So I guess the government is just infallible. The government is perfect. Don't worry about it. The people cannot audit nor critique the government. I thought that was expressly outlined as a right in our Constitution. Okay. Freedom of speech. You have the right to what? You have the right to redress your government. So That's what's happening right now. Why would that be a talking point as a negative thing? We literally have that as a right in our Constitution. You have the right to redress your government. Hey, government, why are you spending $8 million on transgender mice? Can we get some answers? Don't worry about it. Don't question it. Oh, okay, cool. Although that's my right in the Constitution, First Amendment. The right to redress your government is right there. Read it. But anyway, yeah, shout out to my man right here with the ash on the forehead. And again, shout out to the Catholics.
On Musk.
Let's watch some more of this.
On Thursday, a SpaceX Starship rocket exploded just minutes into its test flight. The FAA temporarily stopped air traffic around Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Orlando. It is the second consecutive Starship test flight from Elon Musk's company to end with destruction.
So if you guys don't know, Elon's SpaceX did a test of a rocket, and the booster of it succeeded. It launched, and then it came back to the pad. The rocket that was on top of the booster, when it got to a certain height, it spirals out of control, then it crashed and burned.
All I could think about was, oh, I can't sing.
No, please don't. That's good. That's good. We got it.
So this is a show right here that replaced Joy Reid. All right. This is the show that replaced Joy Reid. You got 2 black people and 1 white Hispanic lady. That's the formula. Is it going to be popular? Are you guys going to watch it? I know I'm not.
We understand how painful that was for y'all out there. Just as watching things blow up.
This is where you tell us that you starred as Glinda in your
You better
production of Wicked.
No. But I've done a number of shows.
The
but
Wizard?
anyway.
Why did they let him
time.
put this rocket up in the air after they were still investigating the last explosion?
Well, see, this is the thing. And that's probably why it exploded. But
okay, yeah. I mean, they're just goofy, man. They don't really have it. Who watches this stuff? These people, they don't have it, man. This is why the alternative media has blown up, because they are too academic, too disconnected from humanity. If that's going to be the show, it ain't really going to work. Now, speaking about humans or lizards trying to become human, Gavin. This is Gavin on Charlie Kirk's podcast. I mean, not on Charlie Kirk's podcast. This is Gavin on Gavin's new podcast, the very first episode, being interviewed by Charlie Kirk. And it was kind of back and forth because Gavin would give his little 2 cents on certain things. But before I play some of this, what do y'all think? Do you guys think that it was a good idea for Charlie to interview Gavin? Should he give him any kind of time at all to speak to him? Or should he not speak to him? It was kind of mixed reactions when this video first came out. But I think the majority of y'all agree with what I said in my video. I think that it's good for people to see where this guy really stands. Have all speech be available. Back in the day, in better times or different times, you were able to go to colleges in California and speak. Whether you were on the far right, far left, or whatever, they would hear you out. I think it's a good thing. Let everyone hear what you got to say. Don't have one side suppressed and the other one boosted up. Let's have both sides have their voices heard. So what do y'all think? Let's play some of this. Somebody says, yeah, man, interview everybody. Everybody. Yes, interview them all. Because I would rather Charlie, hold on, matter of fact, let me say this right. I would rather people like Charlie and other conservative or right-leaning people interview Gavin along with the left interviewing Gavin rather than the left only interviewing Gavin, because people that are watching are only going to hear one perspective. If the left does all the interviews, it'll basically be a praise fest. Oh, King Gavin, you're so great. We bow at your feet. It'll be that. But if you got Charlie in there or someone else that's conservative and or another conservative, it'd be more hard-hitting questions, and you got to answer, like the whole thing about the transgenders in the bathroom and whatnot.
We're losing. We have this, I feel it's asymmetry of Donald Trump and Elon Musk sending out tweets, or you doing social media, and then me doing a 3-minute hit at 3:00 in the afternoon on CNN. I mean, how the hell do we compete? We're toast.
Well, I mean, part of it, and credit to you for doing long form podcasting, because long form podcasting does penetrate different audiences, right? And our show does very well. But part of the problem of the Democrat Party that for the health of the country would be great to change is that Democrats cannot survive in long form podcasting environments.
Why?
It's too unscripted. It's too masculine, honestly. And the Democrat Party's become too
What
feminine.
is masculine about a podcast? Honestly, because I get the whole manosphere, this bro podcast
to go
stuff.
into the wilderness with no rules and duel it out and see who's better or who's stronger. No, seriously. I mean, like what?
Democrats can't.
What? No, I mean, like
we don't do it.
No, but
You're right. We, for whatever reason, don't do it.
You can laugh, but like
They don't do it because remember, the prime example was Trump and Kamala. Kamala, the most she would do is an hour. And she wanted it to be so controlled and edited and all kind of stuff. It got so bad with Kamala. We saw the whole thing with, what was that, CBS? Where they released one answer to a question, and then the next day they put out a whole different answer to the same question. It's like, how you do that? So which answer is the right answer? Which one is correct? They saw that the one answer they put out didn't do well. Man, let's go ahead and change it. So the next day they put out a whole different answer. Meanwhile, both answers are available on the internet. You could watch one and then watch the other one right behind it. It's like, what is this? Trump doesn't do that. Trump went to Joe Rogan, spoke for hours, and it was an effortless conversation. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't so controlled. He was able to go in there, express himself, lay his point out easily, and be done. Move on to the next thing. Kamala, everything got to be scripted. Everything got to be coached. Everything got to be edited. You're only going to get an hour at best. And during that hour, it'll be word salad. She won't communicate effectively. It'll be a mess. Democrats do not do well in long form podcast environments. They want to try to like downplay it. Oh, the little dude, bro. They'll do stuff like that to say it's not important. Meanwhile, we are killing it on the podcast game. We're getting big views, big ratings. All eyes are on the podcast guys. And the old school media is dying out. It's dying. Who watches TV anymore, really? Who's really sitting down and just watching television like they did back 50 years ago? Not many people. Not the young people. Young people, they right here. If you can't get them right here, you're not going to get them at all. If you can't get them right here, you won't get them at all. Charlie and all these guys understand that. People like Gavin and their ilk, they're not really getting it.
Who in the Democrat Party?
We're not. You're right.
Will go. I mean, maybe Bernie Sanders, but he only went for like an hour and a
when
half.
he was a Democrat.
Well, Bobby, who's now HHS.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said that if you want to earn the respect of forgotten America, you have to show them that you can intellectually joust with no script, no hard breaks, no producers in the ears, no teleprompters.
Love it.
That's where new media is going.
Exactly. So there's more, of course. I played it in the video. But again, this is Gavin Newsom's new podcast. And Charlie was interviewing Gavin on the podcast. Okay, again, it's Gavin's podcast. So we'll see what he does next. Who's going to be the next person he has on there? We'll see. And clearly, this is a startup for 2028. One thing about these people, like I said in my video, they're like actors. His whole vibe is like Los Angeles, like California. That's the whole vibe here. So we'll see. But you know, one thing about DC, they're all actors. I ain't gonna say all, but a lot of them are actors. If they're not just office kind of people, kind of nerdy, they're actors or a combination of both. That's kind of what's going on. But anyway,
so like
now here was a big thing about the men and women sports. This has been a real big topic. People are trying to say that it's okay to have men competing against women in sports. Let's see what was said here from Gavin.
So like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports,
right.
that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate.
But like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well. So both things I can hold in my hand. How can we address this issue with the kind of decency that I think, is inherent in you, but not always expressed.
So basically, you're trying to be like, well, there's real trans people and we got to do something about them. Look, at a certain point, you can't just be so soft with everybody. If you are a transgender person, that's your personal business. But what's that got to do with somebody else? You're born as a male. You are a male biologically. You could dress however you want to dress. You can identify as however you want to identify. You can identify as one cold Pop-Tart and one hot Pop-Tart in the same pack on the same morning before you go to school. Identify as that all you want to. Great. I support your right to identify as one cold Pop-Tart, one hot Pop-Tart. Fantastic. But at the end of the day, what is on your birth certificate? And we're not going to change it. We're going to get straight from the hospital. What are you at birth, male or female? XY or XX? Which one? Okay, once we settle that part, then we could go from there. But let's settle the first things first, then we can classify you where you got to go based on that. Okay, so if you want to play basketball and you are a 6'8" bull dagger appearing person like Magic Johnson's son, if you're good enough, you make the boys team, but you cannot try out for the girls team just because you're built like Madea at 15 years old. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Okay. That shouldn't be that difficult to understand. That shouldn't be controversial to say. It shouldn't be like, oh, ABL, you're being mean. Mean? I think that's pretty simple. That's pretty easy to understand. All right. Now, speaking about being mean, we all saw what Nicole Wallace said about our nephew, DJ Daniel, the young boy who had 13 brain surgeries and was said at the union address. We all saw what she said. It was very horrendous. I don't want to replay it right here because I don't want to get triggered. But the news media, basically, if you didn't see it, had some pretty disgusting things to say about this young boy. Oh, he's a prop, all this and that, and he's being used, all kind of stuff about a cancer. I never thought I would see people talk so badly about a child with brain cancer. I never thought I would see today. Look, I don't care if this little boy's left, right, back, forth. He's 13 with brain cancer. It's like, bro, if you hear that story and you say something negative, you're just a demon, really. But our nephew, our cousin, DJ Daniel, has some words for those talking negatively about President Trump.
Such an honor to have met you.
Hold up, I got one more thing to say.
He has one more thing to say. I won't interrupt you.
If you're a Democrat and you're being mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper.
There we go. So shout out to our young guy, DJ Daniel. You say something to Trump, I'm on your bumper, okay? Young boy got Secret Service badge. He's official, all right? So shout out to him. And I think him and his dad, they go all around the country doing the swearing-in process, different agencies. I'm not sure how many they've sworn into. It's been quite a bit. So shout out to DJ, shout out to his dad, all right? Good story that anybody should be able to get behind. It doesn't matter what your race is, what your gender affiliation is, what your political affiliate. Everybody should be able to get behind it. All right. So again, shout out to our nephew, DJ Daniel. All righty. Now, Disney is going to have their first openly Christian character in 2 decades in the movie. Very interesting. Now, I wonder if in this same movie, they're going to have LGBTQ, LMNOP, X, Y, and Z in the movie. I wonder if they're going to try to mix and match that. Let's see.
First episode of the new Pixar Disney Plus series, Win or Lose, features a character called Lori, the daughter of the team's softball coach who struggles with insecurity. In one of her first scenes in the show, she begins with the words,
"Dear Heavenly Father, please give me strength."
This is the first Christian character from Disney since their 2007 film, Bridge to Terabithia, in which kids Jesse and Leslie attend church together and discuss religion. First episode of the...
So what do y'all think? Are you glad that Disney's going to have an openly Christian character in the movie? Are you guys going to watch? I've been kind of on a strike from a lot of popular stuff, a lot of popular movies. I've been on the strike. I've not watched TV. People ask me about TV shows. I don't know nothing. It's a lot of shows I've never seen before. Like it'd be shows that have 20 years of episodes. I've not seen anything. The last time I watched TV consistently, it had to have been, I want to say maybe about 20 years ago. At least 20 years ago. Or, 20 years ago. Yep. Because right around then, I would say 21. I can't even really remember, to be totally honest. I don't remember. I want to say I might have been, about 1920 when I stopped watching TV. The last TV show I watched in its entirety was The Wire. That's the last one I watched, like when it was out. And when was that? That's when Idris Elba first came out. Put it to you that way. Michael B. Jordan was like 13 in that particular TV show. And now he's like in his 30s. So that tells you how long ago it was. All right. That tells you how long ago it was. I've not watched TV in a long time, so I don't know nothing about a lot of stuff. And movies, I watch some movies, but barely. I don't really watch a lot. Okay. I read a lot. I watch a lot of documentaries about geography and, Roman Empire, stuff like this. Engineering, marvels. That's what I watch. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Omar, all of that. So when did The Wire come out? Hold on. I want to say that was 2002 when that first debuted. Yep, 02. It came out in 2002. So that tells you how long it's been. I'm serious. When I say 20 years, I was dead serious. Okay. I saw some of The Walking Dead when it first came out, like a couple episodes, but I didn't really watch it. I can't say I watched a full season of that show ever. So I don't know a lot about a lot. Now, I'll tell you who hasn't watched in TV or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's TV, maybe it's the interwebs, maybe it's their school teachers, K through 12. There's a whole lot going on. First of all, what has happened to church? What has happened to church? I'm looking at someone wearing a collar with all kind of just extra stuff on there. Is this face paint? Is that a fake beard? Since when did it make sense to just draw on the beard magic marker? This is like something you would do. You know what? Can I just say something right quick? This is, in my opinion, the result of parents not really being parents. Because maybe you would do something like that when you're 2 years old, just playing around with stuff. You get into the magic marker. You get into your mom's makeup. You find some way to put that stuff in your face. And then at that point, it's corrected. No, you can't do that. Don't get into the paint, put stuff in your face. But some of these parents just let it go. Okay, do whatever you want to do. Put stuff in your face. Okay, take a diaper off, throw it on the wall. Here's your iPad. Enjoy that. So now we have a full-grown adult with a literal painted on beard and a collar. And I presume this is a woman, a biological XX. That's what I presume. Let's hear what them got to say, shall we?
Good morning. Would you pray with me?
Okay. All right. Wait. This person's name is Brock Bottom. Like Rocky Maivia, The Rock Bottom. Are we doing wrestling moves? Anyway, Brock Bottom, he, they pronouns. I'm seeing one person. Where is the other one? Why are you using plural pronouns to describe one person?
Come, Holy Spirit, into the hearts of all of your beloved children and kindle within us the fire of your unending and relentless love. May all of my words and our hearts together honor you today, O God, our rock and our redeemer. Amen.
Okie dokie. I mean, I don't need to play no more, but yeah, you get the idea what's happening here. This is a bishop, pastor, or something like that in the church. And in the book, we could just end this discussion right now. In the book, it says that women shall not be preachers. It says in the book, it literally says that women shall not be preachers. Don't say I'm being sexist. Don't say I'm being racist. Don't say I'm being they, them-ist, he-ist. Don't say that. Don't say I'm being drawn on beard-ist. It says it in the book. So we could just stop it right there. And you know what? When you don't follow what it says in the book, you have stuff like this happen. This is the result of not following what it says in the book. Read the book and follow it, and you won't have things like this. To me, it's kind of simple. ABL, what about mixed fabrics? Shut up. You know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. Let's not do it. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okie dokie.
Hello.
We got another one, another transformer. This is in Texas, I believe. Matter of fact, this might not be a transformer. This is just like a clown. Look, listen, y'all know I don't like clowns. Off rip, I don't like clowns. The cross-dress or whatever they want to call them, they are the scariest clowns of all. If you made a brand new It movie and you had some of these 6'8" drag queens as the clowns, I would be terrified. I would run out of the theater. If I go to the theater, right, and it's a new version of It, and they got this dude playing the lead character, man, go ahead. Can I get a refund? I'm going to have nightmares the rest of my life. Anyway, let's watch.
My name is Bridget Bandit, and I'm speaking in opposition to SB 18.
What's up with these names? First we got Brock Bottom. Now we got Bridget Bandit. What kind of bandit are you anyway?
I'm a born and raised Texan and full-time drag queen. Previously, I have worked with children throughout my life as a swim instructor, teaching summer art camps, hosting children's birthday parties, and volunteering in my church as a youth group leader.
Now, do you want this individual to teach your children anything? Do you want this person to teach your kids at all? I don't.
Today, I occasionally host drag queen story times. These kinds of events don't differ much from the kind of work I did before, yet this bill would impact my ability to work with children simply based on a subjective and ill-defined expectation of how I should look. Hello.
Well, you know what? I hope that the bill succeeds because you don't need to be around kids at all. I mean, what more of a red flag is there? You got this dude dressed like this around your kids. Obviously, there's a problem. Clearly, there's a problem. So, nah. I mean, come on. You couldn't be any more of a red flag if you were a white van with no windows that says free ice cream on the side. You couldn't be any more of a red flag if you were like that. Okay, you pretty much, this right here is a human equivalent of a white van, no windows, free ice cream. That's what this is. All right, so you shouldn't really be offended that the parents are like, no, let's not have you around these kids. Okie dokie, let's not do that. We got some good news. The Black Lives Matter mural in Washington, D.C. is being painted over. Finally. Remember when that happened? This was during the Summer of Love, right around that time, if I'm not mistaken. And it was painted right there because it was facing the White House when Trump was still the president. It was kind of like a big middle finger to the president. And I was out there when they did that. Well, not at the time when they were painting it, but after it was done in 2020, I was in DC, and the vibe down there, it was just like a bunch of degenerate Antifa people. Antifa people are some of the worst in the entire country. Okay, these are like, I don't even know how to describe it, man. Like, these are like the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. If you check their phones, they all probably got something on it. I mean, these people are really disgusting. Really, really just, gross. If you are my age and you played the video game Streets of Rage, you see thugs with chains and belt buckles hitting you with that. That's kind of how they try to be at night. Gotham City. Anyway, now we're going to move past that era and paint over the Black Lives Matter mural right there in DC. Let's watch.
Black Lives Matter Plaza. It's hard to miss the big letters leading straight to the White House. This place came to be in 2020. In 2025, they could all go away.
Wow, I don't even have words.
Oh, that's bad news. They need to keep that.
I think we have a lot of other issues in this country to worry about.
We all matter. No race, no colors, or nothing. We all matter. So if you take that away, you're taking away a whole memory of everybody that lived for this.
So Mayor Bowser came out, issued a statement saying, we have long considered Black Lives Matter Plaza's evolution, and the plaza will be part of DC's America 250 Mural Project, where we will invite students and artists to create new murals across all 8 wards.
Y'all been in discussion with the White House over this particular issue for some time.
Well, I'm not going to talk about specifics about my conversations, but I think it's safe to say that people don't like it, didn't like it.
Now, what we don't know yet is the timing here, but it appears that Black Lives Matter Plaza, a symbol of the fight for racial justice in America, coming at a time when things were very tense. Remember summer of 2020, the time that George Floyd was murdered by police in Minneapolis? Black Lives Matter Plaza seems like the time is coming to an end.
All right. Now, this guy, just another white liberal out there in D.C., another LGBT, of course, in D.C. Yes, I said it. Another one of them. I mean, at the end of the day, that whole thing was just divisive. It didn't help anybody. Black people, how did Black Lives Matter help black people? It's been years now. It's been years, not just from 2020 to 2025, but 2015, 2016, right around then. Remember the dude D-Ray with the blue vest on talking about, oh, they copied me and Planet of the Apes. Remember that guy? The fake MLK, another LGBT dude, him and Jack from Twitter were dating at one point, allegedly. But anyway, remember him? Remember all of that? Remember Patrice Cullors, black lesbian mansions, big long money? Remember them? Where are they? And what did that entire movement do to help black people? Not a thing. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. So I don't like when you got these people to get on TV talking about, oh, well, this is for black people. Really? For real? If it was for the blacks, how did it help? You tell me. Like, I'll wait. All it really did was just set a lot of communities back by destroying infrastructure, destroying property, having businesses leave. It made things worse in many cases. But anyway. So let's see how much was spent on that particular thing, shall we?
How much do you think the Black Lives Matter Plaza costs to put on the...
So the question is, before we even show it, I want you guys to let me know in the comments. How much do you think it costs to put the Black Lives Matter mural on the street? Give me a dollar amount. How much do you think that costs? Remember, this is Washington, D.C. Okay, just keep that in your mind when you give me the estimate on how much this particular mural cost.
street.
So I wasn't aware of the plaza, but with the things that I've been seeing recently with the costs of different things that the government is spending money on and initiatives, I would say 1.5 million.
It actually cost $8 million.
Ooh.
$8 million. $8 million. $8 million.
How do you feel about the government spending that much money on a Black Lives Matter plaza?
So it's really difficult for me because we are small business owners. Thinking about what it costs for us to operate and pay our employees for money to be spent like that, and the taxes that we have to pay as small business owners, it's pretty disappointing.
How do you feel like the removal of the Black Lives Matter plaza will affect the Black community?
Probably not in a hugely significant way. I can't imagine that it would. I mean,
do you think we should rename the Black Lives Matter plaza for something else? What would you rather rename it to?
All lives matter.
There we go. So $8 million for paint. For paint, that's literally all that it is. Yellow paint on the ground, $8 million. This is DC in a nutshell. It's grift. It's a grift. It's graft. It's money laundering. It's stealing. Because what I want to know is what contractor or consultant or whoever was paid that money to do that. I mean, I could have done that. Hey, give me $8 million. I'll paint whatever you want me to paint right in front of your house, right on the street. Give me. Hey, I'll go hire a bunch of them Guatemalans that be around here. Hey, I'll go to Harbor Freight, get the Guatemalan homies. We're going to load up in the truck and we'll have it done in one night. I'll give them 100,000. I'll keep the rest. Hey, and I'll look out for them for the 100. That'd be a lookout. That'll just be me helping them out. Like, yo, here go 100,000. Take that. I'll keep the rest. Put it right in my pocket. Anyway, $8 million. That's DC for you all day long. That's why I said, remember, this is Washington, D.C. That's what they do. This is why the people say, you know what, we need to have Doge in there because we're tired of our money just being taken from us and just burnt. I'm not saying that was 100% taxpayer money. I don't know where that money came from, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that we shouldn't have spent it if we spent it, and it didn't cost no $8 million. If it was a DC taxpayer, if it was a federal, well, how does it really work? Does DC have taxpayers? How does it really work? Because DC is not really a state, but it is a state. How does that work? Anyway, we got a man on the street interview. Now, I hope this is fake, but I don't think it is. All right.
How many?
Let's watch some of this right here. Some of these street interviews asking some important questions.
How many days make up a year?
How many days make up a year? 100.
100?
Wait, is it 100?
50. What'd you say?
50.
What is the smallest 4-digit number?
Small 4-digit number?
Smallest 4-digit number.
4?
What?
Wait. What is that?
Smallest 4-digit number. What is the smallest 4-digit number?
4? Wait, what? 0.
What continent are we living on right now?
What continent? Continent?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is Washington. Washington.
What country is Hawaii in?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Hawaii, right? Yeah, Hawaii.
What is 9 times 9?
72. 72.
How many planets are there on the solar system?
Plants?
Planets.
30. 50.
If you guys were to drive 60 miles an hour for 1 hour, how far do you travel?
30 miles an hour.
I mean, what do y'all think? Is this what we got going on? Is this our public education system? ABL, you can't defund Department of Education. These kids not going to get. If we are funding the Department of Education and this is the result, then maybe our money's not being spent wisely. Maybe. If you don't know basic things, hey, where are we right now? What continent are we on right now? What is the smallest 4-digit number? What's digit mean? What does that mean? How many planets are in a solar system? How many plants? Planet, what's that? You know why I think this is real? Shout out to Anton Daniels. Very successful channel. Always a good dude. Shout out to him. Good platform. I was on his panel one time talking to people and politics comes up and we're talking about the debates. And there was a question about who should be on the stage. It might have been RFK was left off the debate stage. Anyway, the one girl was like, well, yeah, because normally when you have debates, there's a lot of guys up there. Last time there was a lot of guys up there and now it's only a handful. I'm like, yeah, that was probably the primary debates. There were probably about 10 of us on the panel, me, Anton, and everybody else. Me and Anton knew what was happening. Everybody else, blank face, deer in the headlights. Primary election, what's that? These are grown people my age now, my age. Primary, what's that? You're on a panel to discuss politics. It ain't like a street interview where it's like, okay, you're just outside minding your business. And I say, hey, you want to do an interview? It wasn't like that. This was a panel we got on intentionally talk about some of these things. I said something about the primary election. They're like, what's that? I'm like, you know what? So when I see things like that, I don't even doubt it. I don't doubt it. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. And you guys are the best. I appreciate y'all. Where are we going to go next? I think I'm going to go, Canada. Oh, Canada. Shout out to my Canadian friends. You guys are great. But some of your compatriots, some of your fellow countrymen are having a hard time with what's going on between you guys and us, Trudeau and our president. So look, there's a coffee shop here. Well, not here, but in Canada. And you can see what it says. Coffee drinks. You got drip coffee, Americano, espresso, latte, cappuccino, mocha. All right. Now, they are getting rid of the American part because they're offended at us. So they're erasing the American off their board. And let's see what they're going to replace it with. All right, turn the music down because I ain't trying to get the copyright. All right, so Canadiano. All right, Canadiano. And I saw you try to draw that D a little bit differently. Hold on. Is that how you draw a D? Like, is that a lowercase b? What are we doing? But anyway, Canadiano. That's what we're gonna do. Is that a kind of coffee? Listen, y'all, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know all my coffees. I've heard about latte, cappuccino, mocha. I've not heard about drip coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker at all. But is Canadiano a kind of coffee? Y'all let me know. Now, is it going to be the same flavor, the same combination as the Americano? So you're just going to culturally appropriate the American style coffee? What's going on? Shout out to poor Canadians. Shout out to you guys if you're up there in the Great White North. Now let's go to your leader, Trudeau. What's he got going on? What's he going to say?
On a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future.
All right, there we go. A little bit of crying, a little bit of waterworks. So to my Canadian friends, are you buying what he's selling? Are you feeling the emotion? Y'all let me know. I mean, to me, it didn't really hit. It kind of came off like he's an actor, the same as Gavin. He might be a little bit better of an actor than Gavin, potentially, but they're both actors. Okay, that's kind of what's going on right now. But, also some Canadians, you guys, some of your politicians wore pink in solidarity with the Democrats. I might have showed this last time. Okay, I'm gonna turn the music down, but there we go. How precious. Oh, look at that. The Canadian politicians, the female politicians wearing pink in Canada. Not all pink, a little bit of purple in there. Okay, because you're in solidarity with the Americans who wore pink at the State of the Union address to protest Trump. That is so precious. That is so precious. Hey, you know what? If you want to, you could just, become part of us and maybe just join them. But then again, I thought about that. I thought about, if the United States was to combine, to join with Canada or to annex them, I don't want a lot of your Californian style population, a lot of your leftists. If we were to take Canada, I propose giving the leftists their own little territory and see how that goes. That's what I would say. Hey, let them stay over there. All right. That'd be my proposal. Oh, and Al Green. Remember Al Green got kicked out, right? The House rep, Al Green. He gets kicked out, or he got censured after being kicked out of the State of the Union address. And House Democrats got cringe again. All right, you guys ready for their little song they did in the chambers?
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order. What's it?
So they're singing "We Shall Overcome." All right. This is not 1965 anymore. Like, it's 2025. Nobody cares about civil rights. Hey, all the people that were back then, they've been dead. Nobody cares. The only one still alive and kicking from that era is Joe Biden, okay? And he don't know who he is or where he is. So these songs don't really hit. They're not overcome what? What are you overcoming? Your high salary, your fancy clothes, your multi-million-dollar stock portfolio, your golden parachute whenever you decide to leave, never having to retire, no term limits. What are you trying to overcome? I don't really understand. Somebody want to fill me in? Hey, you get to be in this position, having a job with nothing to show for it for 40 years, 50 years like Joe Biden. You could get a big check, enrich your entire family. When you become president, get out of office, pardon your cokehead son and your crooked brother. What are you trying to overcome? I don't understand. So yeah, shout out to the House Democrats, the masters of cringe. Okay, the masters. Now, here's Al Green talking about the incident. I'm not going to play too much of this, but I want you to see what he said. Geico Caveman has some words to say. Let's check it out.
Intentionality was to walk out. I gathered my...
Let me start from the top.
My intentionality was to walk out. I gathered my coat, I had my cane, and I was going to make my departure. But as I was doing so, the president had just made his statement about having not a landslide, but having a mandate. And I was caught up in the moment. I didn't go to do what I did. I was caught up in the moment, and I turned and I said to him, you don't have a mandate to cut Medicaid. And the speaker gave me an admonishment. I continued, and he gave me another admonition, and I continued, and then I was ordered to be escorted out of the chamber.
So you already said your intention was to walk out, like you were getting ready to walk out, and then you decided to talk on the way out, and then you were disciplined by the speaker, admonished, whatever. That happened to you. So now you're already walking out, so you decide to just continue to talk to get kicked out and make it be a big scene. And now you're on TMZ talking. That's kind of what's going on. So yeah, that is House Rep Al Green talking to the cameras after he was kicked out of the speech. So yeah, shout out to him. Now, Hank Johnson, my Hank Johnson, he's still in there for some reason. I don't know why you would keep electing the guy that said Guam might tip over. Guam might tip over for real? Is that what's going to happen? So if so many military personnel on the island, it'll tip. It'll cap, like, is it a boat? What is Guam? Is Guam a boat? Is it a cruise ship? Is it the Titanic? Like, what is Guam? I thought Guam was an island. Okay. I didn't think that islands were just floating in the water like that. I didn't think it was just like a pile of trash you could just build stuff on. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit differently, but isn't the way an island, it's like an underground mountain range, and at the top of the mountain you have islands. The top of the mountain that's underwater that is not submerged, that's your island. That's what I thought it was, but he thought that it would capsize. Anyway, he's still in office 15 years after those remarks, and he's talking about, well, Trump's trying to bring back slavery, basically.
All of
let me put it on the screen right quick.
The ways in which they can kill public education, from defunding it from a federal level, and then also enabling state monies and local monies to flow into the private for-profit school setup that is ongoing. It's a recipe to make education unavailable to Black people. And where does that then leave us? It puts us back to when America was great, and we were picking cotton and all of it. We're doing the productivity that they are putting my Latino brothers and sisters who migrate here to do that work, because we are not suited intellectually to do it anymore. And but they would have us back confined to doing that kind of work. So we got to watch out for where we are headed. And it's the people that will save our democracy, that will stop this movement towards the past that Trump has us hurtling towards.
It's so dumb, though, because first of all, nobody is beyond working in this country. Nobody's beyond working. Ain't nobody beyond working in the field. Ain't nobody beyond manual labor. Ain't nobody beyond nothing. You are free in this country to work, to do things. Slavery was a very specific thing. The key element of slavery was the lack of freedom and the permanence of only being able to do that one thing and never being able to get beyond that unless you were allowed to do it. But now it's 2025, slavery been over with. It doesn't make any sense to bring it back, really. What's happening right now is that the migrants are being subsidized financially to come over here and do those jobs. Okay, they're being given money by the government and they come over here and work for a low amount of money. These people, leftists, will sit there talk about we need a higher minimum wage. I guarantee you, everybody sitting right here on this panel, all these leftists would say that we need to have a higher minimum wage. Although the minimum wage stopped being relevant when COVID hit because everybody pays more due to supply and demand. They will all say we need a higher minimum wage, but the migrants come over here and get paid next to nothing. And they are bombarding our country, or were bombarding our country to do it. If the whole world is bombarding our country to come over here and get those jobs, to get that money, why would Americans be against it? And speaking about black folks specifically, like I said in my video, 1 out of every 4 black men will go to prison. Not maybe, 1 out of every 4 black men has gone to prison by the time it reaches age 40. So my age, people that look like me, 1 out of every 4 of us has been to prison, not just jail. Okay, it was a traffic violation. Nah, prison. I got a lot of friends. I got like 10, 15, 20 friends of mine that done penitentiary time. 5 years, 10 years. I got a guy that's in prison right now on the big bid, like 30-something years, bank robbery. So my question is, knowing that fact, why would we be against doing manual labor, farm work? Why would we be against that? I don't understand. So, because here's what happens. A lot of us come from these areas. There's no economic opportunity. There's nothing we can do. We could be doing some of the manual stuff early, like 14, 15. We could be doing that. But rather than doing that, we out here in the street just doing whatever. We get locked up or die by the time you get to be 15, probably dead by the time you get to be 15. If you're fortunate, you get locked up. And when you get locked up, what happens? Now you become a slave, because slavery is not legal except for that circumstance. So you're in prison making 2 cents an hour to make license plates, to make maybe some textiles or whatever. So rather than having a real jobs program to train us how to do jobs in this country, to maintain this country, to further this country, rather than that being the focus, we just get locked up and then do real slave labor. I don't understand how it makes any sense. It's so weird, man. People like that are just completely out of touch. They don't care. Look, they had their job for the past 1,000 years. They have no incentive to be locked into what's going on with the people. They're good. They got their job. So it's like, well, you better get yours. That's the whole idea here. Yeah, to make women's dresses. Yep. They operate in sewing machines. They doing the El Salvador type thing. Not quite like that, but, you know, on that same level. Why not get trained? Like I said, hey, have you guys, I'm asking you a question, and I don't want nobody to try and clip this, maybe making me a racist. Don't clip this, make me Has anybody ever heard George Wallace's speech from the 60s and 70s? The governor of Alabama, George Wallace. Have you ever heard his speeches? I heard it. I was curious. I'm like, okay, what did he say back then? What was his opinion about blacks and whites and segregation? What was his opinion? I wanted to hear from him. And you know what? The speech I heard was at a California college. Imagine that. Could George Wallace speak in California today? I think not. But anyway, what he said was that he set up like 8 trade schools for black people with black administrators. And that was a big thing for us because it helped us get trained, to get jobs, to become productive and become part of society again. But If I say that, I'm wrong. If he says that, he's wrong. We just, what are we doing? I don't understand what we're trying to, what are we waiting for? I don't really get it. It's weird. Now, here's Jasmine Crockett saying the same thing. If you guys have not seen George Wallace's speeches, there's one from, I think, 1963. Watch that and you'll agree with everything he says.
And as they have decided.
Hey, EDH, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But people will say that Wallace is a racist because he was for school segregation. Matter of fact, I ain't going to play her because I don't want to show her too much. I'm going to say something right quick. Integration was a complete joke and a farce, and it didn't work. It didn't work. Listen, I don't know how y'all grew up. And when I say my story, y'all let me know how you guys grew up. Now, they say that they integrated schools in the 70s with forced busing and whatnot. But the truth is, when I was growing up, all the schools were still all black. Everything until I got to high school. I went to 3 schools, elementary, 2 for middle, and 2 for high. Every one of my schools was at least 90% black until high school. All of them. To see a light-skinned person was rare, let alone a white classmate. That was very rare. Again, until high school. And even in high school, it's still like 55, 60% black. We were still the majority. I did not lose out on education because they say if black folks are not schooled with whites, it'd be a bad education. It depends on how the teachers are. It depends on the parents. It depends on the teachers. It depends on the kids. If you have all 3 on the same page, you're good. It don't take that much to tell a child that 1 + 1 is 2. We have books to read that everybody reads. It's not that hard to read the books. I don't understand. So my question to you guys is, did you go to a school that was truly, quote unquote, integrated? Whites, blacks, okay, 50%, 40% this, 40% that, 20% that? Or was it like majority one race, majority black, majority white, or whatever? Okay, y'all let me know. And then also, not only were the schools segregated, the neighborhoods were too. I'm living in Portsmouth, Virginia. If you know about Portsmouth, I lived in Churchland when I was older. And Churchland, when I say that, people that's from there think you lived in the good part. I wish we did. I wish we had the Coleman's nursery experience. We lived behind all that. You got the white area right here by the bridge. And behind that, you got the black area. And it was very clearly defined. Very clearly defined. It was easy to see where the whites lived and where the blacks lived. But it was never a problem. It was never like we had a bad experience because we didn't live among the white people. I never really understood why anybody cried about that. It was weird to me. I think it was a lot of these liberals who were not from where we're from who had a problem with it. So segregation wasn't that bad, except for when it came to government facilities, things of this nature. But everything else, just neighborhoods, it's still like that. It's not changed. So are we going to go through that again, busing and making you live here and you live there? Why? I'm going to read some of the comments here. So Edward says Caucasian mostly. Robbie Mills at 50% white and Navajo. Chris says I was bused in LA in the 1970s. Later schools in the 80s were mixed, pretty mixed as well. Neighborhoods still do. Majority white, 90% white. Yeah. I did not live among whites until I got to be 14. Before that, it was 100% black. Totally. Everybody. We had some white teachers, but not that many. Not that many. And it wasn't really a big deal. Anybody that was white, we got along pretty well. Unless you were in a hood environment where it's going to be dangerous regardless. But white kids, black kids got along pretty well, especially as kids. It wasn't really a big deal. Shout out to my white friends. Shout out to my black friends from childhood. No, I didn't go to Smith. Eugene says I grew up in a black neighborhood. Snoop says, yes, there was everyone under the sun when I was in school, 1970s and 80s. See, for me in the 90s, it was 100% black. Because what they did in my area, they stopped doing the forced busing of anybody by the time I got to be in school. There was no more busing when I got to be in school. In the late 80s and early 90s, there was no more busing. You just went to your neighborhood school pretty much. Like, especially like for the kids. And Norfolk, what they had was neighborhood schools. So you might have Tidewater Park. You got Tidewater Park Elementary. Young Park, Robert Park, you got that Park Elementary. So it'd be a small school for that neighborhood. That's the way it was. And these schools were 100% black because it's in a 100% black area. Anyway, now, Derek Chauvin. We got Ben Shapiro. I don't know where he came from with this. I don't know why. Ben, I don't know why you did this, but let's just watch some of this.
If we are issuing pardons, however, there is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin. President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. He should. He should pardon him his federal charges. If we are talking about reversing the evils of the last several years in American life, obviously COVID and its handling was a massive evil. Destroyed the economy, set us on a path to fiscal insanity, destroyed children, led to massive health-related cover-ups, just horrifying all the way around. And President Trump has taken on a lot of those things. But when it came to BLM, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime, was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd.
Now let's pause. I understand the point of view. I understand his point of view about Derek Chauvin getting railroaded. I get it. But if you want to free Derek Chauvin, to say to ask Trump to pardon him is just not thinking long term at all. There's no strategy there. There's zero strategy. Ben, okay, think about what's going to happen next. What's going to be the result of this? You already got the media doing what they normally do, attacking anybody conservative, especially Trump. And you're going to put this out there? If Trump was to do it, then what? Because it's easier for somebody to say, yeah, go ahead and pardon them. You can say that if you don't bear the responsibility of the outcome of that action. If you're not living in Minnesota, where there could be a problem as a result of this, you're not really worried about it. If you're not President Trump, who has to deal with that politically, you're not really worried about it. If you're a regular guy or girl at home, you could just say that. And then when anything bad happens, you say, well, hey, I didn't do it. You got to think strategically. If you pardon Chauvin, you still got the state charges. And let's just say that Trump did that. Let's just say that Trump was a pardon Derek Chauvin. He's still serving state time. The state time is longer than the Fed time, and it's right around 22, 21 years. So you pardon him on the Fed charges, he's still locked up for the same amount of time he was locked up before. You didn't get any time off his sentence at all. He's still going to be in prison for the same time he was from the beginning. Except for it's going to be even worse for him. Rather than the federal joint, you go to the state joint. And in the state joint, he'll get deleted immediately or it'll be a very hard time for him. So why would you do that? You still got to go through the appeals process on the state level. Let that happen first. Let the state appeal process happen and see where it goes. Pardoning him before the state appeals process goes in, there's no guarantee it's going to have any impact on whether he gets released on the appeal or not. It might even have a negative effect. They might want to resist Trump and be more likely to keep him in there. So it's just dumb all the way around. It's not strategic. I get it. You want him to come home, but let's do this thing smart now. Let's just not act wildly. You know, what he did is like shooting into a crowd trying to get the armed robber. It's like, well, I appreciate the sentiment. There's an armed robber. He's a dangerous person and you want to get him. But maybe you might not want to shoot in this crowd and hit an innocent person. You know, maybe you might want to pinpoint and hit him directly. Let's take our shot strategically, not just willy-nilly. Let's not shoot up a whole house to get one person and you kill everybody in the house rather than the target. Am I making sense or am I just, I don't know. And again, it's the point behind me saying this is not to relitigate whether Chauvin should be locked up or not. That's not even the point. I said from the beginning in my video, I think he should be free, but there's a way you go about this. And what he did is just, you threw a grenade into a crowd of people. It's like, bro, come on, man. Use this, just use our brain a little bit here, Ben. So yeah, shout out to him, but we got to think about it. And of course, Trump was asked about it. He says, I don't know nothing about it. Trump was asked about it. He said, look, I don't know nothing about this. I'm not thinking about that. I don't know about it.
Your allies are calling on you to pardon Derek Chauvin. Are you considering pardoning Derek Chauvin?
No, I haven't even heard about it. No.
Your allies.
Haven't even heard about it. Exactly. Now, I know Ben's a lawyer. Yes, that's right, beef and chicken. I know he's a lawyer, but that makes it even more perplexing because you think he'd be smarter than this. You would think a lawyer will understand how this goes. A lawyer will understand that if Trump pardons him on a federal level, there's still the state charges to deal with, and there's no guarantee or there's no indication that the pardon would have any impact on the appeals process. It might go the other way because it felt like Trump's trying to, force their hand. So it's just weird. It's just totally weird. But anyway, yeah, shout out to him. All right. Somebody called him a PDF file. I don't know nothing about that. Is Chauvin, is that what Chauvin is? I've not seen any evidence, any conviction or anything like that. Y'all, if I'm wrong, correct me. All right, now the braids. Oh man, this whole thing with the braids. My. Okay. So this video went viral. The reason why I covered this video is not because I care about these people and the fake Bo Derek, the 2025 Bo Derek. It's not even about her or her braids. And I swear before everything I love, I swear, listen, hear me very well. Hear me very well. Listen, I don't care about who invented braids, if it was the Nordics, if it was the Greeks, if it was the Sumerians, if it was the space aliens, if it was the Africans. I don't care. Y'all care. I don't. I couldn't care less. Personally, I'm follically challenged on top of my head. I never had no cornrows. I never had no twists. Matter of fact, I only ever got to like my beard length right here as far as my hair length. I cannot grow hair at all except for like this. This right here is it. I never had plaits, none of that. So I could not care less about braids. My point is that this video is fake, is rage bait, and ultimately it's to promote her OnlyFans. And when I said that in my video, a lot of y'all were like, what's OnlyFans? For real, a lot of y'all were like, what's that? Because we got kids watching, OnlyFans is an adult website where you're able to subscribe to people and get their content on a subscription basis, or you pay for stuff. Look, don't ask me how I know. I just be researching, okay? I just research. But anyway, it's an adult website. That's what she's on. She's an OF model. So what she does is go around making videos, trying to get a reaction, trying to go viral. And ultimately, all that viral traffic, all that attention towards her gets funneled into the OnlyFans subscriptions. So she'll do something like this, and her numbers would be X. And after that, it'll be Y, and you'll see an increase, 20%, 30% increase in subs. She's also a streamer, like an IRL streamer, like an in real life streamer on Kick. So anything she does, it's just to get attention. Now, the argument about who invented braids, y'all could talk about it. Y'all could talk about who invented French toast, who had the first pedicure. Who cares? But let's watch.
That shit is ugly as f***. We wear that shit.
It's braids.
Take that shit out now.
Are you being for real?
Take that shit out now.
Okay, what's your problem?
Take that shit out now.
We're dressed in this room.
But take that shit out now. Take that shit out.
Now look, I think this whole thing was set up. What this woman right here was doing, she was going from place to place with a microphone hooked to an end of a fork and asking people, hey, Do you like my braids? Are you offended? Listen, first of all, you're in the black area. You're in the hood. You go into hood places with these braids and asking black folks what they think. You're trying to get a negative reaction. Why are you even out there? You have no business being in the black area. Why would you be there? ABL, you're racist. You're saying she can't go where she wants. Listen to what I'm saying to you guys very closely. Why is she out there? Do y'all always want to go to a hood area just for S's and G's? Is that what y'all want to do? What's the hood in your area? Do you want to go there? I don't want to go to the hood in my area. Look, it's a hood in my area. It's 100% black. I am not going there. You guys might have seen the video on social media where there was a guy who stopped a mass shooting at a club and he had an AK and started spraying it. Yeah, that was here. I'm not going down there for no kind of money because I value my life, period. I don't care if they black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. I'm not going there to that particular neck of the woods. It's black folks that don't live there. I'll go hang out with them, not there. So why are you even over there? You know what? If the police see a white guy in a black neighborhood at a certain time of the night, they already know what's going on. You're a dope fiend trying to score drugs. Why are you even out here? You get caught in Baltimore and these hood areas as a white person, you're trying to buy heroin or fentanyl or whatever it is out there. That's what you want to. Why would you be out there for any other reason? Anyway, I'm getting triggered. My point is that when you see these kind of videos, just know that they're fake. And it's only to ABL, she's not pretty. Who's going to buy her OnlyFans? You'd be surprised. Some of y'all watching this have subscribed to her.
Internet is hating on me for having braids, so today we're going to get the public's thoughts.
You're in front of a KFC. You have a plastic fork with a rope mic hooked to it, and you're using that as a microphone. Hey, black person in this hood area, do you like my braids? Please crash out on me so I can go viral.
Do you think it's offensive if I wear my hair in braids?
No, I don't give a damn what color you. You can wear whatever you want. Well,
No. We wear wigs, don't we? No.
And the funny part is everybody's saying they don't care. That's the funny part. Everybody's saying they don't care. Generally, when you go into these hood areas and you asking these questions, nobody's going to care. You might go online and get some negative comments, but that doesn't mean anything. I've been called the N-word every day for the past 10 years online by a lot of these white liberals, but nobody ever says that to me in person, ever.
It's cute. I think it's okay for anybody to wear braids. It's your hair, really.
Do you think I'm allowed to wear braids? No? The internet is hating on.
So when you're doing these videos over and over and over and over, you got 28, 34, 56 of these same videos. You're not getting your desired result. You're not getting the crash out. You're not getting the viral moment. Let's go ahead and pay somebody, make that be a big thing, promote it, go viral. And the end result is I get more OnlyFans subscriptions. That's my thing. So yeah, who cares? And look, if you're talking about hair in the comments, nobody cares. I promise they don't. No one cares. Wear whatever you want to wear. All right. And it's like Bo Derek, really. It's not even this reminds me of the whole Bo Derek thing. If you guys don't know what that is, Bo Derek was popular in the 70s, maybe 80s as well. And she wore Fulani braids back then. And it wasn't much criticism, but I remember seeing it. Okay, I remember seeing it. I was not born in that time, but I do remember seeing her. So this is what she had her in her hair right here, okay? That's what she had, Fulani braids. That's West African, but she's basically the 2025 version of Bo Derek. The key difference is that Bo Derek is not going around interviewing people talking about, hey, do you like my braids? Yeah, but it's yeah. Now, Bo Derek though, hey, 10 out of 10. I'll tell you what, Fulani braids, bald head, wig, I couldn't care less. She could have a whole Afro puff. It doesn't matter. Bo Derek was something else. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Where we got? We got some protesters at Tesla in Meatpacking District, New York City.
Go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Elon Musk has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Elon Musk has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Elon Musk has got to go! Hey, hey! They relied on to survive!
So this sign says Doge should cut JD's eyeliner budget.
Including 10,000 children and 10,000 pregnant women. The so-called pro-life. We need clean air.
There's more black people as law enforcement than there are protesters. So there we go. That's the very diverse, very diverse protest out there in Meatpacking District. Oh, this is crazy. So So the head of the FBI New York office, James Dennehy, was given the bagpipe send-off after he was forced to resign. After President Trump's victory, he sent an email urging resistance to dig in. Now, they're talking about he might have been the one concealing the Epstein files. He's not dead, though. I thought the bagpipe send-off was if you died, if you got killed in action. But all he did was just get forced to resign.
An extraordinary scene outside of the New York FBI office in the last hour. Assistant Director in charge, James Dennehy, who was forced to resign under pressure this week, left the building to cheers from hundreds of his colleagues and the sound of bagpipes. He was forced out after clashing with Donald Trump's Justice Department.
That's him right there with the blue blazer, blue shirt.
After the removal of senior FBI leaders and requests for the names of agents who worked on the January 6 cases. He told those gathered that he will be their, quote, best cheerleader on the outside.
I thought that the bagpipe send-off is if you died. I didn't think it was just like you could just get that. Can I just get a bagpipe? Can I get a bagpipe entourage just going to Trader Joe's? I want to make a big entrance. I want to get the bagpipe guys when I go grocery shopping, when I go anywhere. Give me the bagpipe entrance. Okay, if I do a speaking engagement, I want the bagpipe guys to introduce me. That's what I want. Can I arrange that or nah? Because if you're just doing bagpipes for whatever, why not for that as well? I feel like it's the same thing. Yeah, matter of fact, if I can go back to being 16 years old, let me get a Sweet 16 party and let me have the bagpipe guys to bring me in there. All right, that's what I want. Anyway, shout out to these people, man. They're totally nuts. Also, we got 2 individuals in DHS who have been identified for leaking intel on ICE raids and operations.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that they have identified the leakers who exposed the locations of upcoming immigrations and custom enforcement raids. This is a big deal, and our Bill Malugin has got the details. Bill.
Hold on, was that Nicole Wallace talking in that previous segment about the bagpipes? Of course it was her. My arch nemesis. Nicole Wallace is like the bane of my existence. She's like all the evil in the world, all the bad in the world personified as a human being. Oh, she's worse than Brian Stelter. She's worse than anybody on television.
Yeah, John, good afternoon to you. Just a short time ago, DHS officials confirmed to Fox News they say they have identified 2 people within DHS who they say they have caught leaking information about ICE operations to different targets and then put those operations in jeopardy. We got a video from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem herself making this announcement, was just sent over to us. Take a look.
Everyone, I wanted to give you a quick update. We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these 2 individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done. And we're going to continue to do all that we can to keep America safe.
And a DHS spokesperson also sent us the following statement on record, which says, quote, "We are preparing to refer these perpetrators to the DOJ for felony prosecutions. These individuals face up to 10 years in federal prison. We will find and root out all leakers. They will face prison time, and we will get justice for the American people." Now, to that point, we do want to point out that this is just a referral. It is ultimately going to be up to the Department of Justice on whether or not they want to move forward with prosecutions of these alleged leakers. You have to keep in mind these individuals, whoever they are, will also have due process, and they would have to be either found guilty or put in a guilty plea if we want to talk about any sort of prison time. But guys, this is obviously very significant. You're looking at video from an ICE raid in Aurora, Colorado last month. I was on that operation. It failed. It leaked. There were media reports that the raid was coming days in advance. The same thing happened for an operation here in Los Angeles. Another operation in Virginia just leaked a few days ago. There was also another leak in Chicago. These leaks have been widespread. It has happened multiple times. They have seemed to be getting worse and worse. And we've seen people from the Trump administration going on television saying that these leaks are putting ICE officers in jeopardy. It's putting the operations in jeopardy, and that they're going to track down, find these leakers, and prosecute them. And according to DHS and Secretary Nome, it appears they've taken the first step towards that process. Again, they say they've identified 2 people within DHS. That's important. They're within the Department of Homeland Security, so they're privy to this information, and they're going to seek to prosecute them. They'll send those referrals over to DOJ. DOJ will take a look at it. It will be up to DOJ to decide whether or not to move forward with any type of potential prosecution. But
so there we go. So yeah, shout out Kristi Noem. Get the leakers up out of there. And Kristi Noem, yes, she is very, very pretty. Shout out Kristi Noem, pretty and effective. All right, not just out there for looks, but actually getting things done. And we got to find these leakers because we kept me having these raids and it's so weird because it's like, why would you even want to interrupt the raid? Are you being paid to do so? Because there were 2 military, I don't know if it was Army, Navy, I'm not sure what it was, but they got caught selling information to China. And of course they were Chinese nationals or they had Chinese names. This goes on quite a bit. People selling information to foreign nations, selling out what's happening with certain operations, leaking secret information, all kind of stuff like that goes on. And I feel like if you are caught doing that, you need to get the ultimate penalty. You might have to get put on death row for real, because that's called treason. Yeah, that's definitely when you're doing things to intentionally endanger national security. What else can that be called? I think it's called treason. If you guys think differently, let me know. But yeah, it looks like treason to me. All right. Now, I got one more thing to talk about. Just one more, then we're going to get to the cause. Bronny. Let's talk about Bronny, LeBron James Jr. I got to talk about this, and it's not really about LeBron James or basketball. It's about helicopter parenting. Some people baby their children too much, and they're surprised when they get to be losers as adults. I was not a babied person. I was given responsibility early. I was taught to be responsible, to be respectful, and I was given the tools I needed to be a well-rounded adult. I ain't never been locked up. I ain't never been no dope fiend. I'm not out here I don't got no kids and no baby daddy. I'm doing well because I was given the proper tools and the proper amount of tough love and advice. Have you guys ever seen the movie called Fences with Denzel Washington? If you've not seen it, I suggest you watch it. But it's also, there was another movie before that. I think it was a play. It might have had James Earl Jones. But anyway, the movie, the play, whatever you've seen, it's the same thing. Denzel or James Earl Jones, whoever the actor was, spoke to his son very harshly. Very harshly. That's how my dad was with me, though. That's how my dad was with me. And I needed that because when you're raising a boy into a man, he cannot be soft. He cannot be coddled. He cannot be babied as an adult. If you're 20, 21 years old and you are an NBA player making millions of dollars, how are you still being babied by your mommy and daddy? Leave my son alone. How can that still be going on? The opponents that you facing in the NBA are going to use that against you. Your daddy ain't here now. Catch this crossover in this day. Boom. Where your daddy at? Tell your daddy come save you. They're going to use that against you. Now, what are you going to do? Don't bully my 25-year-old boy. 25-year-old boy, that's a man right there. He needs to behave as a man and defend himself rather than having the superstar daddy keep coming to try to rescue him. That's called helicopter parenting. Now, Stephen A. Smith says something about LeBron James Jr., a.k.a. Bronny. And by the way, the whole Bronny name, that's also emasculating because it's like a child name. Bronny. I had a cousin, I ain't gonna say his name, but we called him a name that was like that. That was not his real name because he's also a junior. But I called him that one time because I ain't seen him in a while. I called him that when I was like 10 years old. He gave me the blank stare. I'm like, oh, my bad, man. I can't call you that no more. I'm sorry. You're still 21 years old, getting called a childhood nickname. It's emasculating. You're never able to grow up. And I just don't like it. Let's watch and see more so you get some context here.
He approached me during the game and he said, stop effing with my son.
So to be clear, LeBron James approached Stephen A. Smith and said that.
That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son. I said, what? Nah, man, straight up, man to man. Real talk. Stop effing with my son. And I saw how furious he was. And I said, we can talk about it later. Nah, F that. Stop effing with my son. That's my son.
So, like, I'm going to tell you what's going on with LeBron, in my humble opinion. Since you grew up with no dad, you're overcompensating for what you didn't have. And as a result, you are babying your boy. Maybe that's why all these NBA players' sons, not all, but some, come out as transgender, LGBT. We see EJ Irvin Jr., a big 6'8" Madea. We see Dwayne Wade's boy, who was transgender at 12 years old. We see Michael Jordan's boy, cocaine, and you got Scotty's ex-wife in your house. A mess.
I said, all right, dog. Fine. And he walked away. That's all he said. I knew what he was talking about. I've spoken about this before. Matter of fact, I heard that not many, not all, but a few players were upset at me about that. I think one player in particular was Draymond Green, who I haven't spoken to since and has no desire to speak to me primarily because of this, I suppose. And I found out the way that I found out, which was last night.
All right, so there we go. So there goes Stephen A. talking about, look, if you're going to be in the NBA, you're an NBA basketball player, you're not above criticism. You're in the league. It's one thing if you're talking about an NBA player's son who's just a kid and not playing in the league. But you're in the league, bro, like you're playing in the NBA. It's time to So what happens when LeBron retires? I can't talk about your son. I talk about everybody else in the league, which is part of my job to be on ESPN talking about you. That's our job. We're sports commentators. We're going to watch games and then talk about you. I talk about everybody else when they're up, when they're down, when they're whatever, except your boy. That's so soft. And this is part of the reason why a lot of these young people, a lot of young guys especially, they're soft. Okay, they're just weak. Not all. Shout out to the strong-minded, strong-willed young men and women out there. Shout out to you. But a lot of y'all can't take it when you're looking at employers and they're talking about hiring Gen Z, recent college graduates. They got a lot of the same things. They don't take criticism. They're soft. They don't know how to speak properly. They're using foul language. They just don't have things needed to have to be successful in the workplace. even in the corporate environment. So when you go out there to the military, when you're going out there to a much tougher environment, are you going to be able to survive? Can you pass PT? I don't know. It's an issue. And what they want to do, they want to reduce the standards in the military for your physical conditioning. But all that's going to do is result in a weaker military. Same thing with police forces and whatnot. You're going to reduce the standards, or you're going to have worse police as a result. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right. Yeah, the NBA, it's gone downhill. And a lot of that is because I don't know. It's a lot of reasons for that. They're trying to appeal to a much younger audience. And the real young guys, they eat it up. But the problem is they're not the ones buying tickets or going to the games or buying the merchandise. All they're going to do is watch the highlights on their phone. But that didn't generate any kind of money. We're talking about TV deals. That's from guys sitting and watching the game and watching the ads during the game. If that's not going on, then we're going to have a problem financially. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. And yeah, LeBron James Jr. should not be in the league. The only reason why he is in the league is because his dad forced his team, the Lakers, to draft him with the last pick in the draft. That's all that he did. All right. Hold on. You're So Cool 23 says, it's a girl raised myself from 10 on, stole food from grocery stores, bought my house at 27. I have one son and been married. Think for yourself. I read encyclopedias daily when I had no parent. Hey, there you go. You know, you're taking advantage of whatever you have at your disposal to improve yourself, to make yourself, you know, be successful in life, have a good quality of life. That's what it's all about all day long. Oh, and the WNBA, they're trying to have negotiations for more money. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. How are you going to negotiate for more money when you don't make any money? Like, if you are in the hole and you don't turn a profit, how are you going to negotiate for more of a failing product? It makes no sense. Anyway, we got super chats on deck. I'm going to read these right quick, keep on going with the show, and get to the calls. Thank you to Regina the Godmother, who says, the old lady delegation checking in. We love you, ABL. Thank you for that. I most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to the Freedom Express 76, who says, Tulsi Gabbard for president. She has merit. Thank you to Humongous Shift, who says, Hotep Jesus was on Tim Pool. He can't use the N-word. It was hilarious. Shout out to him. Shout out to Gregatron, who says, shout out to my three favorite callers, the retired Chicago police officer, RIP, Alien Spaceship, and the Giggly Troll. Yeah, the Giggly Troll was hilarious. Shout out to Daytona Prototypes, who says, trans people really go and look up. They go everywhere looking like that. I told you about my transgender story. I'm talking about Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Shaq, JaVale McGee, 7 foot tall each, dressed head to toe and all their stuff. I saw that for the first time at 18. I was like, what in the world is this? What am I looking at? That's what I thought to myself at that time. Yes, they do go out in the world looking crazy like that. And I think that was in reference to the person with the drawn-on beard, perhaps, with the magic marker beard that you might put on yourself at 5 years old. Thank you to Jag Elster Dag, who says, not surprised, they. Jesus Christ called out the demon who answered him, I am legion, for I am many. There you go. A message. Thank you to Virginie for the laughing emoji. Thank you to No Excuse Lifestyle, Rocky Cage, who says, what's up, ABL? I don't care if they remove the BLM Plaza because it's a fraud organization that uses suffering to collect money. $8 million for a plaza, but black areas. Well, I'll just leave it right there. Salute, brother. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. $8 million to put some paint on the ground. Paint, yellow paint. Not even like, it wasn't even like a mural where it was an intricate design. And that still shouldn't be no $8 million. Okay. I done seen gang members tag up a neighborhood and look better than that for a lot less money. Okay. So what are we doing? Shout out to S Ford, who says, ABL, why is Doge the new boogeyman? Because the DC people don't want to give up their grift. They want to keep getting their money. That's all. They got a whole apparatus set up. They've been able to eat off it for a long time, and they don't want it to come to an end. Thank you to No Excuse Like some Rocky Cage who says, off the topic, 6 years ago today, I quit smoking. And for several years, I've been living a healthy lifestyle after the weight loss. Keep up the good work and keep on spitting facts. Hey, man, shout out to you and congrats on your 6 years. Congrats on the 6 years with no smoking. That's a big accomplishment. That gets to Kai's Posthumous who says, hope we withdraw from NATO. What do you think, ABL? Most certainly, we shouldn't be in NATO. NATO sucks. Europe sucks. I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be in NATO. Thank you to Carlos Gaspar for the cup of joy emoji. And if you're European, shout out to you. I don't mean you. I mean some of your countries, some of your leaders. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous who says the destruction of the nuclear family is this lady. Thank you to Fernandez T who says in order to protest someone like that, you must first elevate them to a godlike status. Most of us Christians do not do that because Elon's just a man. Only God must be elevated and revered, right? You're correct. Thank you to Young Reckless who says, ABL, what are your thoughts on Umar Kid exposing him of being a deadbeat? He blames men like you for leaving the hood, but he's the same men he crucifies. I mean, Umar Johnson, listen, Umar is, people kind of like put too much into Umar. Umar is just a guy that knows how to talk. And people just like hearing him talk. He's a meme, basically. And that's pretty much it. Now, as far as the girl coming out talking about he's a deadbeat, I don't know his side of the story because sometimes those stories come out and you don't know the full story. Okay, so I like to hear from everybody involved. A person can come out and say he's a deadbeat, but let's get the full story before I make a judgment. Because I done heard stories like that, and then what'll happen is the real story will come out, all the details will come out, and all of a sudden, things are different. Oh, here's one more thing. Sometimes kids think their parents have done something when in reality, they didn't. Someone may think that their dad was a deadbeat, but when they really have a honest talk with their mother, with their family members, it wasn't quite like that. Again, I don't know what happened here, but I'm not just going to judge him based off of that side of the story because I've heard these stories before and I see how when you hear the entire thing, it changes. Think of the Kai's Posthumous who says for punishment, they need Dank Demas to sit on them. Yeah, some of y'all might like that. But anyway, thank you for the super chat, Kai's Posthumous. Damon says, did ABO mention the $2 billion given to purchase energy saving appliances? I didn't even hear about that. Is that just more of the Doge uncoverings? We're probably going to get quite a few of those. I could probably do a whole list of those, including that one, but I've not heard about that one specifically. And thank you to Jaleesh Salvatore, who says, hey, ABL, love your show. Thank you for that. I most certainly appreciate you. All righty, we got calls to get to. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And we got this number until, oh, wow, I might change the number sometime before May. But we got it until, I think, sometime this month. It expires. But I got a new number on deck already, so we good. We are good money. AB says, both of my parents are deadbeats. They both told me as a teenager they will never give me anything. Moved out 17 years old. Hey, man, you still here. You still made it, so congrats to you. Hey, man, you have succeeded, so shout out to you, boss. All right, but the number to call, y'all know what it is, 434-658-1220. Let me get my sound together. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right, caller, who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Steve. So I wanted to call to talk about what you mentioned earlier about Ben Shapiro pardoning Trump pardoning Derek Chauvin coming from Ben Shapiro.
Right.
I wanted to start off by saying that, first of all, Ben Shapiro is a traitor to the conservative movement, okay? He got Candace Owens canned because of what she said about the Jews and the Palestinians and how they should stop massacring the Palestinians. You know, like she was trying to call out both sides. Granted, Israel does have a right to defend themselves, but they don't have a right to deliberately massacre civilians. And then, secondly, Ben Shapiro isn't clearly just did this for clout. He knew he was going to be at the joint address with that Trump was giving to Congress, so he wanted to start this petition to pardon Chauvin for attention, because he knew that the Daily Wire has become the Israeli Wire. Okay, and last but not least, I do hope that Derek Chauvin gets cleared, because he was innocent and didn't deserve to be put in prison. And before anything else, before we say anything else about George Floyd and how he was high on fentanyl and all that, I would like to take a moment to congratulate George Floyd for being 4 years free of fentanyl.
There we have it, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, so there we have it. Interesting joke. I ain't gonna make that joke, but shout out to him. Let's keep on going. Let's go to where we at. 859, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL, how's it going, buddy? It's your Luciferian Libertarian friend and DoorDasher and delivery driver and truck driver. How's it going, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, not much, man. I mean, I haven't seen too many videos of Uncle ABL, and I was going to ask you for your advice for the being a father and stuff like that. I recently had a woman jumped into my life, and she has a kid, and well, the past relationship she had with the kid was pretty rocky and stuff like that, and it's really complicated. I don't want to put into details, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the guy. And my question is, what is your best advice for somebody who's like a new father, to somebody that's quite used to having a very shitty and horrible and foul, disgusting father?
Okay, so you guys are married. What's going on?
Well, we're planning on getting married. I've known her for a long period of time. I actually knew her when we were in ROTC together a long time ago, and friends off and on, and we've been dating for about, I would say, close to a year.
Okay, now how old are you and how old is she?
I'm 35 and she's like 32.
I don't know. I mean, my first instinct is to say don't do that, but I mean, you're 35. You could do that, but I'm not sure I would at that age. But as far as if you're gonna do it, understand that the father, unless he dies, and don't get no crazy ideas. I ain't saying delete him. Don't. Hey, YouTube. I'm not saying delete him, but basically my point is that the dad's going to be there. So if you got a problem with the dad, that's going to be an issue. So if you may have to actually do something to him, or he does something to you. So.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's a long. It's not advice from that. Usually, it's just that whole situation is already going to be taken care of in court. So, like I said, like it's kind of one of those things I don't want to say online or say out loud. But I'm just talking about like being a father and disciplining your kids, like advice like that, or dealing with kids when they're teenagers, like advice like that.
Okay, so how old is the kid now?
He's 6 years old.
Oh, you got a boy too? The problem is you're not gonna be okay. So have you done any disciplinary action yet? Like, okay, he does something, you correct him. Have you done that yet?
I already did. I was mostly firm with him. I explained to him why it was bad. I explained to him why you shouldn't do that. And I explained to him, and of course he was upset at first. I let him, throw his little hissy fit, and then I told him, and I explained to him why. He understood after a while. So
it's going to be hard because you got a couple of things here. First of all, that's not your child. So you're trying to do disciplinary actions, and he may not take to it because you're not his father. And then sometimes the mom might try to interject and overrule you because ultimately that's her son, not yours. Ultimately, you could be, great stepdad or whatever, but there could be some problems because of that. Also, because of the father, I just sense a little bit of drama happening, in my humble opinion. But the main thing you got to worry about is the outside stuff. If you are able to discipline and do right by her and lead by example, that's the most you got to do. Of course, be able to have a steady source of income and take care of everybody. Of course, that's the main thing. But the main thing you got to worry about is the outside drama that you might not be able to control.
Well, the outside, I mean, if it's outside drama, I can't control it. It is what it is. Like I said, I let the court system take care of it. And I mean, it's complicated, like I said, but majority of my concern is like the whole becoming a father, because I never knew my father until I was 23. So I never had a father figure in my life. I always had like guys come in and come out of my life who were supposedly like my mom's boyfriends and stuff like that. And I always wanted to be a father because, like I said, I never met my father until I got older. And I'm afraid that I might, have that family curse again and stuff like that. And that's why I'm kind of like scared to have kids. That's one of the main reasons why. And I wouldn't mind being a stepfather if that's not the issue. And actually, matter of fact, I wouldn't even call it a stepfather. I'm kind of like, I'm taking the responsibility of somebody's responsibility who was very irresponsible.
Okay. I mean, I would be kind of hesitant about doing that. If it was me, I wouldn't do it personally. If it was me, I wouldn't do it. But you have your own life. You may think, okay, this is the one for me. We're madly in love. We're going to get married. If you want to do that, understand you got to be cautionary about the outside things that could interfere and cause you some internal strife. That's all you got to worry about. Everything else, just be a good person. Go out there, work hard, provide for the family. You be good. But you can't control everything. So understand that.
I understand.
All right.
Thank you for the advice, ABL. I very much appreciate it. And, like I said, I knew this girl for like ever since she was 12. I was a teenager when I first met her. We were like friends, like family friends. And it's not just like I just jumped in a relationship after a couple months and then decided to be a stepfather. No, this is a person I've known for years. So I really appreciate you taking my phone call, ABL. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. And shout out to the chat. See ya.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you. All right. So what do y'all think? You think you should do it? Think you should not do it? Y'all let me know. And some of y'all are like, why are we talking about kids and being a stepdad? My other channel, Uncle ABL, I talk about that kind of stuff over there. And I need to do a video about that particular topic. It's hard, man. It's really difficult. Sometimes you could be in a stepdad situation and it's okay. I got family members that have done that and it worked out, but it's rough, man. It's rough out here in these streets. I say be careful, especially if the baby father is going to be a problem. Ultimately, you might have to put your pistol on them. And I'm not trying to, hold on. I retract that statement, YouTube. I'm just entertaining. Don't worry about me. Let me rephrase. You may have to have some type of confrontation with the father that may not be very pleasant. Put it to you that way. That's probably the better way to say that. Okay. I ain't trying to say put your gun out on nobody. Who am I speaking to you online? 617.
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia. So somebody in chat actually just put, if you have to call in for the answer, you already know the answer. And I just want to point out, I knew my high school boyfriend since I was like 14 years old, dated forever, reconnected later on in life, completely opposite of it, where he had a daughter. A horror show. First of all, the man was a hot mess. The mother was just like, pick my kid up from school. Why are you picking my kid up from school? You think you're her mom. It was a mess. Like, if you have to call him for the answer, you really know the answer. It doesn't matter how long you've known somebody. It really can get ugly fast. So just be careful, especially, I think he said he was in the service. If pensions are on the line, be very careful. That's all I had to say.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
There it is. Because I've heard some stories like that. I heard about some divorce stories. Oh, my goodness. I've heard some divorce stories. People getting their pension taken. The house taken, that's one thing. The pension. And then some guys are like, some people will tell me right now, well, why does it matter? He doesn't have any money. If you don't have a lot of money, it's even worse, because if you're Jeff Bezos and you lose $100 billion to your wife when you divorce, it's nothing because you got $100 billion more. It's nothing. But if you're a regular Joe and you lose $5,000, you might be homeless for a year after that, trying to recover what you lost off of just losing $5,000. So if you got a military pension, you got like everything you built or have saved, worked up for up until you are 35, 40 years old, it might not be a lot, but it's something. All of that gone or impacted in some kind of way. Be careful. 912, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL. It's Tom down here in Savannah, Georgia.
All righty. What's going on?
I was just curious, like, what you think kind of about, like, no taxes on overtime. Do you think that's going to end up actually happening?
I think that it can happen. I think that it can. I'm not quite sure about the odds, so I think it has a pretty good chance of being able to go through, for sure.
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of, once again, tax cuts with the left, the right, and the money that goes here and there, and once again, Doge, Elon Musk, and figuring out what is wasteful spending. But you should reward the people that, like, work hard.
Right, I'm with you.
All right, well, I mean, I just didn't know if you thought that might happen or not happen. I mean, it's something I feel like would stimulate the economy and make things better for America, like building the wall. I mean, there's lots of things that make things more financially successful, more safe, etc.
Oh, right on. I agree with you 100%. And I hope that we get those kind of things done. Those things actually help the American people, those that are really working hard. Reward the hardworking people of this country, and you just might get more hard work rather than people that come over here and just leech and mooch off of us. So I agree with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was kind of what I was curious about, your thoughts on just that specifically with might it happen or not. I mean, Trump's signed so many executive orders and done so much in, like, what, 40 days, I guess we're at, that people, like, are at a loss as to 4 years of Biden. I mean, you got to remember what happened with COVID, the last election, voter fraud. I mean, there's so many things that I'm excited about. All the picks, though. It's amazing for all the heads of the FBI. I mean, Cash Patel. I mean, there's so many great things that it's going to take a minute to get everything done.
Right on.
All right, well, I'm sure you got some more callers. I appreciate it, ABL. You have a good night, man.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. What's your opinion about tax on tips, everybody in the chat? What are you guys' opinion about tax on tips? Good thing, bad thing to do to eliminate that tax? I think it's a good thing. I think it makes sense. Tax on tips and tax on overtime. Get rid of all of that. And I've been the kind of guy that would say eliminate tax on tips, because whenever I go to a restaurant and I tip, I always tip in cash. I always try. Sometimes I forget, but normally what I'll do is bring cash just for the tip. I don't pay the check, and I pay the check on the credit card, but I give the tip in cash. Hey, and I tell them straight up, don't report none of this. Just say I didn't tip. Say I was a regular customer and I didn't tip. I was a black guy that didn't tip. They'll believe it. But look, take that cash, put it in your pocket. Don't tell a soul. That's what I'll always tell them. All right, let's go. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Get you off speakerphone there. I want to talk about the Department of Education going back to the states. I mean, federal level. It's controlled by the federal government. You got a federal teachers union that's run by lesbians that are the most miserable people on the planet Earth, and they're more about the bathroom than the classroom. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
It's when I'm at work, I don't care what your sexual preferences is. I don't care how you identify. I work on airplanes. I think Uncle ABL should do some things like great black Americans, not Afro-Americans, black Americans, people who are born and raised in America that happen to be black. Like one of my heroes, Bessie Coleman. Her story's amazing. But anyway, getting back to the education. I was educated before the Department of Education was created. These kids are dumb as a box of rocks. I talk to college professors here in Connecticut all the time. They're dumb. I read the World Book Encyclopedia, the whole thing, before 1967. Before 1968, I read the Encyclopedia Britannica. Half the Naval Library at Pearl Harbor before 1970. Because when you go into a library and look at books, you got to learn the Dewey Decimal System. You got to think alphabetically. You got to, you know what I'm saying, Anthony? Any moron could get on the internet and change a couple of keystrokes on Wikipedia. Follow me?
I'm with you. Go ahead.
You know, the books are where it's at. I mean, like everybody that I know that's worth talking to reads a lot of books. And about the George Floyd thing, I'm sorry George Floyd had heart issues, and I'm sorry that he was a hardcore drug addict. That's a rough monkey to get off your back. But if you watch the police body cam, the actual whole police body cam, he was in the store with counterfeit money trying to pass at a black store, black business. They called the police on George Floyd for the counterfeit money. Now, when he come up, George Floyd's in the car. When he's saying, I ain't that kind of man, I ain't that way, I ain't that kind of guy. When you see in his mouth, you see a white packet in the back of his mouth when he's got his hands up in the car talking. That's the drugs that he had in his mouth that he absorbed all the fentanyl out of. Now, when he got into the police car, I think that George's plan was to spit those drugs out in the car and then say he couldn't breathe, which he did. And they got him out of the car so that he could be put in a different car and say, oh, those weren't my drugs. I honestly think that was his plan, but he had absorbed so much fentanyl that there wasn't no saving him. And part of the problem was, if you watch the entire police body cam, the crowd was so abrasive toward the police officers, you know, that Derek Chauvin was looking like, what in the world are you people talking about? You know, he was like confused as to what was going on. And as far as the guy that's getting involved with, look, that's on you, buddy. I got my own kids. And since I've raised my kids, and both my kids are very good students in school, their teachers love them, I probably wouldn't have a problem with somebody else's kid. But having no experience, I don't know. I'd think about that real hard. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anthony, you have a great night. God bless you. It's been a great 4 years. You're getting better and better. And I just want to see you grow. Hopefully one day we'll get you that White House press pass.
Right
you
on.
Take care, brother.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
God bless you.
All right. Great call. Shout out to the callers. Keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 949 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, kiddo. How you doing, kiddo?
It's all good. What's happening?
I'm just joking around. It's Marta from Menifee. Oh, my husband and I, oh my God, over the years we had this friend, and you know how you were talking about nicknames and not being called certain things because, you know, you're like, and you know, over 30 or over 21, you know, like nicknames. Well, God, we would just get so annoyed. We'd tell her like all the time, please don't call me kiddo. I'm, you know, 40, whatever the time. And oh my God, anybody ever call you kiddo?
I don't think so. Not in my whole life. I've never been called kiddo. That's like some old, mobster movie. Hey, kiddo. It's like, what are we doing?
Hey, you just got called kiddo. Oh, I know. Anybody in the comments probably like going, oh, yeah, it's so funny with this. So anyways, we don't have to worry about that anymore. But on a totally different note, okay, all right. So I myself was a foster child, and I was just sitting here thinking of when I was in the custody of my father and my sisters and my brother. We were living in the glorious city of San Clemente, right there next to the beach. I was in high school. I had the beach. I had it all, until the state decided to come in and, just take us all. And guess where I ended up? Orange, California. Well, Orange, California is extremely diverse. So I went into a high school where there was just like tons of different kids from just like all over the world. And, I had friends from, Africa, China, and it was great, went to my birthday parties, the whole thing. But it got me thinking that when, people like myself and children placed into the foster care system, I went into a foster home in Orange, California, and it makes you think, like, in other different states and around the country, like, you're placed in a different city than where you came from. So, like, your whole life changes. You no longer had that life. So the people from the foster homes grow up in this town or different towns that they're put in the foster homes. It just kind of like changes everything for across the whole spectrum.
Right on.
You see where I'm coming from?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what is your opinion about that?
What's your specific question?
When children are placed in foster homes, they're taken away from the city that they were being raised in,
yeah,
and then put into another city where the foster home is. It's like completely, different lifestyle, different environment, the whole 9 yards. And then they grow up to be adults, and it's just wanted your opinion about that.
I mean,
how that would make that.
Yeah, it could be hard, but that's a lot of times that happens to a lot of kids where you move around a lot, because it happened to me when I was never in the foster home. But you kind of go from place to place. Like, okay, so before I got to be maybe about 8 years old, we lived in eight different places.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then, of course, in the summertime, I'm in West Virginia or Roanoke or in DC. I'm all over the place. So for me, it was normal. That was just how I grew up.
Right. Yeah. Same here. My dad had us moving all the time before my mom and dad got separated or divorced, I say. But anyways, I was just trying to, have people envision, if it wasn't for anybody getting separated from their families, how would that town look like, or those towns or those states look like if there was no such thing as, foster care or adoption? I mean, I don't know what life would be like differently. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Anyways, thank you for taking my call. As always, I appreciate you, love you, and I'll talk to you later.
Right,
good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I moved around a lot. I mean, for me, it wasn't really that bad. Like, for me, I think it was good for me because I was able to see different people, how they lived. So in the summertime when I'm gone, it's way different out that neck of the woods than it was back home where I was living. It was much different. So I got to appreciate where I was living a lot more. Like, even though it's a hood area, we still had a lot of resources. We had an urban area with a lot of different things you could do, compared to a place where it's rural almost, and it's not a whole lot going on. You see, it's just, I developed an appreciation for the place in which I lived. I saw my environment differently. I think it's good for kids to get out of their environment. Now, if you're not with your family and whatnot, it's different. But having to make new friends, I think that's part of life. So it was good for me to travel around and do that kind of thing when I was younger. Absolutely. All right, let's keep on going here. Hold on, Anthony. Shout out to Anthony, who says, yeah, ABL, you got an education on all types of situations. 100%. Absolutely. Sure did. Let's go. 512. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is your lane.
All righty, what's going on?
You are waiting to talk to you?
Okay, you're on, but two things. First, turn the stream off in the background, and also take me off a speakerphone.
Okay. Honey, he's on the phone! ABL, I can't believe we're on the phone with you.
You're on.
That's amazing. This is the first time my husband and we own a repair shop, and we're just closing up. And I said, let me try to get on with him, and here you are. Amazing. My question to you, and I know you've probably spoken about it many of times. He had me take him off a speakerphone, honey, so sorry. This is Jasmine Crockett. You think she's faking it? You think she's like being super ghetto superstar for, I don't know, for the TV, for the public?
What she's doing is just trying to lean into stereotypes that people have about black folks in order to try and connect to black people. But I don't see it working, because when we see that, we see kind of a clown. It's like, just be normal. Why try to do all this extra stuff? Whatever it is, whoever you are, just be a genuine person. I don't
Why
see.
be you?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Be you. Be you. Like, that's just so. I mean, especially when you're in front of the public. It just, I don't know. It's just so crazy to me. Now this lady, we're from Connecticut, and we just moved to Texas about 4 years ago. Now the lady, I don't know, the lady with the purple hair, that crazy lady. Now she's like making all these crazy videos about this, I don't know, like the lingo and the ebonics, and I mean, it's not a good look.
Yeah, people just need to be more genuine, and that's why a lot of the left, they don't have anybody. They're losing support because they're not real people. That's why we love Trump, because Trump, although a billionaire, is still like a regular person. Whoever he is, 100%. That's who he is all the time. He's not going to try to be a character. He's not going to try to do something extra. He's just himself. And I want anybody to be themselves, whoever you are.
That's right. Be you, boo. Be you. All right, Bill. We love you. Say hi, honey, before I go. Hey, Matt and Lily, we have a podcast too. It's called The Automotive Truth. Just so you know, The Automotive Truth. We're Christians, Texan, American loving, and we love you, ABL. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right, so shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to. I want to speak it to 617. You're on the line.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
Hey, how you like those tariffs, man?
What about them?
How do you like them?
I don't know anything about them.
Oh, you don't know anything about the tariff? Okay. So that's one of the main things that was going on with the economy. The stock market is crashing because of the tariff.
How is that impacting the economy?
Because every time they say when impose a tariff, investors panic and pull out the money out of the stock market.
How is that impacting the economy?
I just told you.
The stock market, but how is the stock market impacting the economy?
You didn't watch a video of Fox News where a truck was costing $80,000 and when he made the announcement went to $100,000 just literally in less than half an hour?
So is that related to the stock market? I'm having a hard time understanding.
Okay, so there's a combination of factors. Okay. The stock market is one combination. The economy is the goods of products and services. The goods of products and services go up because the tariffs are a tax.
How is the stock market impacting the economy? Do you know or not?
Yeah, I know they're part of the coming together because give you a contraction reaction about the price of the goods and services.
Okay.
See, if people put money, start cashing the stocks of a particular company, it's gonna have an impact on the sales. Anyway, I thought you pay attention to that because it's so important right now. That's one of the main things of the discussion. I guess you haven't. So let's talk about, before I hang up, what you think about the Trump meeting with Putin, and what you think is going to come out of that meeting, and not having NATO members, the top NATO members, involved in that particular meeting. You think that Trump should go along with Putin, meeting with Putin alone and making the decision of the transaction, or you think you should have the top NATO members involved also?
What transaction you talking about?
Well, I mean, he's talking about setting out a deal with Russia, right? He's talking about a peace agreement. Do you believe that France, Germany, Denmark, NATO members the top NATO members should be involved, or they should not be involved?
Well, it depends on what the deal is. It depends on what they're able to come to. Like if Trump and Putin are able to strike a deal and it means peace, the war is over, then I think that makes sense.
So don't you believe that the other countries that the top NATO members should be also involved because they're part of? I mean, they're part of the problem. The problem affects them more than affect the United States. Why is only Trump making the decision and not having even Ukraine is not getting involved?
Well, I mean, they could, but they don't have to if it's not necessary. I mean, it may be needed, it may not be needed.
Well, it is necessary because that's their territory that we're talking about. So I think they should be needed. I mean, I believe that so far, I mean, the administration has been a failure so far. I mean, I don't know. I have to give him time. I mean, it's early. I don't want to make negative prediction or early preemptive predictions, but so far, everything's going like really wrong. I mean, it's just the expectation that he had, the lower the prices of goods hasn't happening, and also he's undecisive when it comes to the tariffs. He complained he doesn't know which way to go when it comes to the tariffs. Seems like he's going to the way of Russia when it comes to the peace agreement. So far, it's not doing well. It's just so the people are so excited. It's causing a lot of confusion. It's confusion with immigration, causing a lot of confusion. So pretty much the whole thing is a massive amount of confusion. That's all what it's causing.
Okay, how was Biden's administration? Was it a good administration? Was it successful? How was Biden's administration? Let me know.
Well, I mean, the Biden administration, you got to understand, with the first 3 years. In the first year, it was still was the COVID. So I don't blame Trump for the COVID either. I blame him for the management, but I don't want to blame him for that. It was okay. I mean, the only thing that Biden have a massive failure, it was the immigration at the border, the issue with the asylum, that it imposed enough restriction. And I told you before, they should have put enough restrictions from the first wave, and it didn't do it. It could still accomplish having people come in under the asylum premises, but it didn't put enough restriction that blow the whole thing all over the place, and now, you know, it caused a lot of pain and a lot of economic problems into their budget to the states and local communities. But overall, I mean, Biden did well.
So how was Trump able to shut the border up basically immediately, but Biden couldn't do it? And because
he didn't want to do it. Seems to me like Biden allowed these people because he wanted to gain this Latino vote. He thought that will give him, put him in a good position with the Latino vote. He said, well, I left this Latino in under the asylum promises. All the Latinos gonna be behind me. That didn't happen. That had very negative impact on Vice President Harris' campaign and the whole thing, because the mistake that he made. But anyone could have shut down anyone could have done that. I mean, Obama shut down the border also. That's nothing new. Clinton did it too. That's not what Trump has done is not what the previous president has done. So you are not giving me anything. So you just talk loud. You just talk loud and make a lot of noise.
Excuse me. So there was no need for the bipartisan border bill, right?
Well, it was a need because then you will give more.
Wait. Because I was told that the bipartisan border bill was to close the border. So the bill was not needed to close the border, correct?
That's not true.
You just said that the only reason why Biden didn't close it is because he didn't want to close it, and Trump did want to close it. So
that's not what I said.
So are you saying that Biden? So I'm gonna ask you a question again. Why did Biden not close the border?
First of all, I already explained to you like a billion times.
You just said, excuse me, you just said that he didn't want to do it, right?
He didn't want to impose restriction on asylum. That's what I said.
So he didn't want to close the border. And
you can't
the question is, was there a need for a bipartisan border bill to close the border? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why was there a need to do that when Trump came in with no bill and closed the border?
Let me explain you why. You see, the way that you think is to your audience is not the logical thinking. You're doing it for your audience. So let me explain to you. You cannot close. You let me talk. Maybe you understand. You cannot close a 200-mile border. The border is like from Boston to New York. I don't know. You know the distance.
So are you saying Trump didn't close the border?
They closed the restriction on asylum. That means you come in and ask for asylum, you turn them back to your country. So that will may send a message. If I'm living in Guatemala or I'm from Venezuela and I'm coming to the United States, and I only have to say that I'm seeking asylum, and then they're gonna hold me in a facility for a week or two, and then they're gonna release me if I have a family member living in New York, Boston, whatever, and they're gonna release me, and then the person could pay for my flight ticket, and I'm gonna go there. I should come to the United States because I'm gonna end up being released, right? But if I come to the United States and I get to the border, port entry, or a border patrol agent grab me, and then say I'm seeking asylum, they're like, "Nah, we are not taking asylum."
So at the end of the day, all of that to say that Biden left it open, Trump closed it, he fixed the problem that the bipartisan border bill said it was going to fix without the bipartisan border bill, so there was no need for it. Simple. It's not difficult to understand that. You're trying to like just talk forever, but at the end of the day, what I said is correct. Thank you for the call, though, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. But yeah, I mean, come on. Like, it's simple. They said that we were being inundated with people because we needed to have a bipartisan border bill to close the border. That's what they told us. That's what they said. Then they didn't say that anymore when Trump got elected and the border got closed. 804, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. My name is Brian Harana. I've called you before. How is 2025 treating you, sir?
Everything is great. I have no complaints. How about yourself?
I agree with you. Thank God that President Trump is in office. ABL, and let me tell you what. I love your exchange with Ivan right now. It proves to everyone, at least to me, you are willing to listen to somebody else's opinion, even if it opposes yours. What a great exchange. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's pretty much where I am. I'll talk to anybody. It doesn't matter if you left, right, black, white. I don't care. Let's talk, have a conversation, and let those who are listening decide who came out on top or who had the best idea.
Exactly. And, ABL, I will be honest with you. I love everything you say, but I don't always agree with you. Nonetheless, right, ABL, the dialogue, right, conversation back and forth, correct? That's the United States of America, correct?
Right on. Absolutely.
ABL, I think I told you before, please visit Hawaii. You had that question about your experience growing up in the neighborhood you're at. So I'm telling you, ABL, Hawaii is a unique state. We have a mixture, a rainbow of colors, probably the second most diverse state after New York, especially New York City. So growing up in Hawaii, I'm Japanese Filipino by bloodline. I don't have any Hawaiian blood, but I grew up in Hawaii. And I was never a minority, nor were the Puerto Ricans, the Hawaiians. Nobody in Hawaii was seen as a minority except ABL, whites and blacks. Very opposite. Hawaii was opposite from what we would say in Hawaii, the mainland. So I love ABL, your testimony about your life as a child growing up is amazing. ABL, what you tell me about West Virginia, and I lived in Virginia for a year. amazing. I love the state of Virginia. What do you think of Virginia?
That's an interesting question. Virginia, I think, needs to be set free from Northern Virginia because that's basically the DC people, the deep state, the bureaucrats. A lot of them live in Northern Virginia. Not all, but a lot of them. If we're free from Northern Virginia, we could be definitely a great state, similar to the Carolinas, Georgia, Tennessee, etc.
You know, ABL, I agree with you 100%. So, being from Hawaii, when I was in Virginia, I saw all the Confederate generals, and I always found it interesting. I live with a black family, and they taught me history about Virginia. Very interesting. But I never was offended with the Confederate generals, their statues, and the black. In fact, I went to a black church in Virginia. I was the only Asian person in the church. Pretty cool. And none of them were offended by the fact there were Confederate generals statues, within Richmond, Virginia. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's history, so ain't no point in trying to hide history. It happened. Like, let's talk about it and let's move forward.
You know, ABL, exactly. I think the unique thing about the United States of America is we are a nation that's pursuing always perfection, right? No nation is perfect, but we are always pursuing perfection, and we are not ashamed of our dark, ugly history. The Soviet Union, other countries, and I say the Soviet Union because I was in the U.S. Navy in 1983, so, the Cold War. Other countries bury their ugly past. We don't. And I think that is what makes the United States of America unique and great. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Right on.
And AB, I'm going to give you my experience in Hawaii, and it's difficult for me to relate. And again, growing up in Hawaii.
Hold on. Hold on. I don't want to cut you off because I know you might go into your story, but we got a little bit of time.
Oh, hey, ABL, you have a good night. God bless your heart. I understand. You take care of yourself, bro, and enjoy your show. Take care, ABL. Bye bye.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All righty. Shout out to the caller. 815, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is the Sage. I just got a quick question for you. What did you think about the Supreme Court voting to force Trump to pay the money to USAID? I'll let you go. I'll listen for your answer. Thank you
for the call.
Bye.
Now, as far as the whole US aid thing, I think that's going to be a continuous court battle, and I don't think that Supreme Court decision will be the last one. I think it'll be an ongoing court battle, in my humble opinion. So hopefully it ends in our favor, but for right now, that might be kind of a roadblock that we're able to get beyond. I see us getting beyond that roadblock. I don't really see that being a permanent hindrance. So I'm not really too concerned about it. 731, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm great. I've been calling this number for the longest. So there's just one thing I wanted to speak about. I am so happy that I have turned into your podcast on YouTube. I learned a lot with the Democrats and the Republicans. At one point, I was a Democrat myself, but didn't do a whole lot of history and just went by what other people say. But now, since lately, I've just been doing research, and the things that they say about Trump, I just totally disagree. I think Trump is a great president as we have him right now. And one of the things I wanted to mention too as well is about the transgender that entering, and different athletic rings with women, the sports. And I just think it's disgusting. At the end of the day, if the man said he want to change and be a woman, his DNA is still a man.
Right, absolutely. And it's crazy that anybody would think that there's anything else other than that. It's like, okay, you now identify as a woman. That's not going to change your DNA. That ain't going to change your chromosomes. That ain't going to change nothing. That's just how you identify. And that's the way for people men to get into women's spaces, which is completely dangerous and it's unfair.
I totally agree. And I don't even think that should be a topic, period, because men are much stronger than women. So we should not even be dealing with this right now. I just think it's really foolish. Something was wrong with their mind. I just don't understand why this even occur.
I don't know where it came from or how it started, but I think that it's been time to end it because it doesn't make any sense. And it's just not right.
And it's just unbelievable how people protesting against it. That's the part that really blows my mind. I just don't understand.
Because people get brainwashed. They think that they're doing the right thing. They think that they got the right idea. They're trying to support the LGBTs. They don't know no better. They just got brainwashed. And then you got those who know better, but they don't care about doing better. They just want to do the wrong thing. Because in this world, you got evil people that exist. They're evil. They want to go do evil. And they convince sometimes the unsuspecting to join in and help them commit the evil.
Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know I appreciate your podcast. I really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot since I've been watching you. So, yeah, kudos to you.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, a shout out to the caller. Great call. But that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Shout out to you guys for being here. I will see you guys again live on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I appreciate y'all for being here as always. I'll be back live again, like I said, on the Wednesday. Y'all know what it is. But this is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for everything will be in the box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But thank you to everybody who's been watching, retweeting, super chat, and I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all as well. Do I have more super chats to read? I think I got a few more. I'll read these right quick, then I'll wrap it on up and put a bow on top. Oh, I got quite a few. All righty. Thank you to Jaleesha Salvatore, says, hey, ABL, love your show. Shout out to you. Thank you to Fernandez T, who says, no offense to anyone, but I can't trust anyone whose religious hat grows larger as the days go, by Shapiro. Thank you to True North for gifting 5 or 10 ABL memberships. Appreciate you for that, True North. Thank you. And you also put the snooze emoji. Thank you to Mambo 1278, who says the Trump 2028, Trump 2023, Trump 2036. Let's watch the view explode. Thank you to Jaleesa again, who says if people don't want to be in our country, they need to leave. Why should we have to conform to them? By the way, I'm about to vacation in Hawaii, so I'll see how it is. Shout out to you for going out there to Hawaii. Enjoy. And thank you to Marianne McPherson, who says, ABL, heart, love you, and how you talk to everyone. Love to chat. Shout out to you for your super chat. I most certainly appreciate you. But I think that'll be a wrap. You guys have been fantastic. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.